Today on Dr. Phil, Valentine dilemmas.
How to get your romance back on track.
Since the triplets, my love life is non-existent.
You think his definition of one-on-one time is one-on-one time. That's not romantic to her. I'm going to tell you what you need to do to turn this around. The ultimate aphrodisiac, I guarantee you.
Plus, tips on getting alone time.
Do not knock on this door unless one of you has burst into flame.
Also, can't cook,
You're gonna love this.
can't buy the right gift,
I think I look like one of the Ghostbusters.
can't dress sexy,
Let's see Candy's new looks. Come on out, Candy.
and
The #1 thing men really want. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
10 seconds here.
I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. Here we go. I want you to get excited about your life.
4,
Ready,
3,
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Thank you very much. Well, it's the 13th. It's the dark before the light, because that means you've got just one more day to get things squared away with your Valentine. All right, now I know the cynics say that Valentine's Day is just like a made-up holiday to sell cards and candy. But here's the thing, you could just look at it as a good reminder to just show a little romance towards your mate. Ask yourself, am I meeting the needs of my partner? Now, my guests today say, no way. Now, get ready to find out how to get your romance back on track. Now, just 2 months after getting married, Caitlin and Joe found out they were having triplets. Honeymoon over. Even with 3 babies, he says he still wants romance. Like when he leans in to give her a kiss, she offers up her forehead. She says she doesn't want to get anything started. Take a look.
Since the triplets, my love life is non-existent. A typical day is utter chaos. I wake up, feed the babies their bottles, change their diapers, give them all a bath, make baby food for the week. By the time I'm done with that, it's time for lunch. So they're normally screaming. I end up covered in baby food, spit up, formula, bodily fluids that I don't even know what they are. I mean, some days I just cry right along with them because, you know, I'm just as tired and frustrated as they are. Romance is the farthest thing from my mind.
If I had to grade our love life, I think it'd be a C average, just barely passing.
It would be an F- or an F on a good day.
Before we got pregnant, we had sex on a daily basis, and it was great. About a month into a pregnancy, it came out that she was a high-risk pregnancy, so we weren't allowed to have any type of sexual contact.
In terms of sex, when the babies were born, certainly none of that foolishness.
I try to be very affectionate when I can. I try to kiss her, I try to hug her, and just sit next to her and show her that I love her. On a good day, I'll get her cheek, and on a bad day, I'll get her forehead.
My immediate reaction is to just push him away, to just get him off of me because I don't want him to get the wrong idea.
The worst thing that she's ever said is that she thinks I'm only after sex and that that's all I want from her. This Valentine's Day, I'd love to spend just some quality one-on-one time with her, maybe in a hot tub, some champagne, and then maybe have a little bit of intimacy later on.
Okay, so you think his definition of quality one-on-one time is quality one-on-one time,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And the last time you cozied up like that, you got 3 babies for the next 20 years.
Exactly.
Okay, what part of this do you not understand?
I don't know.
I'm actually on your side. I'm going to help you before this is over with, but you do get that she's got some concerns here, right?
I understand. She does.
And you said you used to have sex once or twice a day? Mm-hmm. So you're way ahead anyway. I mean, you're borrowing into their teens as it is. I mean...
You know, Dr. Phil, You know, when I found out I was pregnant, I had just turned 22 years old, and we were just 2 months into our marriage, and I knew it was only a matter of time before I'd be sitting in your chair.
Yeah.
Because
you saw this coming, right?
I did, because it's too much. I take care of the babies by myself. I don't have any family in the state. You know, we can't afford a babysitter or a nanny, so it's just me all the time.
You hear him saying, oh, that's because they're not there every day all day, right?
They're cute, but they're a handful.
Yeah.
You know, and there's never any time to rest or relax, you know, or rejuvenate from the 24/7. And he is a police officer. He works 14-hour days usually.
Okay, but now you work what shift?
I work the midnight shift.
Okay, so you sleep during the day
Yes,
when the kids are up.
I try to.
And you're gone at night when they're asleep.
Yes.
So you're basically a single mother.
Yes,
And that's the problem.
that's how it feels.
And I try to help her as much as I can. But I think we also need to work as a couple and act like a couple.
Okay, let's do that.
Well, you know, he says that he tries to help out.
You couldn't be any worse if you had a shovel.
Okay, he says that he tries to help out, but so I asked him to take the garbage out. I said, please, we have garbage and recycling that is overflowing, and I said, that's the one thing I refuse to do. And every time I see that garbage, that is a slap in the face that he doesn't even care enough to take that out.
Yeah. Is the piles of it by the door not a clue?
Well,
Do you need a sign that points down to it? I mean,
that'd be nice. Well, a lot of times, like, I'll see the trash, and when I wake up to go to work, it's usually not full when I'm leaving. But by the time I get home, it's usually full. And then I'm tired, and I just kind of want to go to bed.
okay, well, we don't want you tired.
The fact that there is no real intimacy doesn't really make me want to help around the house that much.
So how you think that went over, officer? No, I mean, this is a focus group here. You don't, sir, this is just a focus group. How do you think that went over? It's like she needs to make me want to help. Was basically what you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what can he do to get motivated to help me? I don't know what to do.
Define romantic for me. If you were gonna like romance her, what would it be?
Just sit on the couch, cuddle, just kind of sit there and just kind of hold each other and talk.
And
And then eventually,
And then that
hopefully
leads
end up
to
in the bed.
kissing, and then, yeah.
then that leads to kissing, and
Right.
then this sitting on the couch becomes horizontal.
Right.
And so that's your idea of romance, right?
Yes.
Okay, when we come back, we're gonna find out the #1 thing men really want for Valentine's Day and how way different the #1 choice for women is, and how can these guys get back on track in the romance department. Right back. Okay, we're talking about Valentine dilemmas and how to solve those romance problems in your relationships. Now, this Valentine's Day, Joe says he'd like a little more, well, action in the bedroom. Now, this stay-at-home mom says she has no time and no interest to even think about, let alone have sex.
I'm not happy with my body. Before the pregnancy, I was about a 4 or a 6, and now I'm between an 8 and a 10. On any given day, I will always be wearing scrub pants. I have at least a dozen pairs.
Scrubs and pajama pants every day for a year. It's kind of old.
I wear scrubs because they're cheap, they're versatile, and then when I go out, I feel like I don't look lazy. I feel like people think I'm a nurse, and so that's my job. This might be a nice Valentine's Day outfit, but I just don't fit into it anymore.
If I could wave a magic wand, I think I'd pick kind of a tighter pencil skirt with a nice semi-snug top, that's just enough to be a little bit of a tease.
I don't want you to get the wrong impression about me that I want to wear scrub pants. I don't. Just being 23 years old and just not having any clothes to wear I mean, because it really is literally, we can't afford the clothes, and so I can't get out. This Valentine's Day, I'm reaching out to Dr. Phil. This really is a Valentine's Day SOS.
Okay, now we ran a poll on drphil.com asking men and women what they wanted most this Valentine's Day. Now, this is the problem right here. 65% of the women say they just want a romantic evening planned by their man. Okay, 15% jewelry. Thank God it was only 15%.
I'm part of that. Yeah.
You met my wife? You need to hug yours. 50% jewelry, 9% flowers, 6% sex. Only 6% said what they want is sex. Okay, now, do you see that we got like an 80% gap? So we have to understand, because men, 86% wanted sex. 86% wanted sex. 13% wanted a romantic evening planned by their mate. 1% wanted jewelry. Nobody wanted flowers. Nobody wanted a card. They just wanted no cards.
I would like a card, though.
Okay, but see, that's the difference. We got 6% of women wanted sex. 86% of men wanted sex. So you got an 80% gap there. Now, how are we going to fill that gap?
I'd like jewelry, too, though.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to with the scrub pants. I wear scrub pants all day. They're stained. I don't feel attractive. I've been pulled 3 ways, you know, all day. So when he comes up to me and tries to hug me, you know, I
don't feel attractive.
No, and I've been pulled in so many directions.
What she needs to know is that I find her attractive no matter what she's wearing. When she's in scrub pants, covered in spit up, she's just as attractive as the day we got married.
It's not about you.
Thank you.
It's not about you. See, here's the thing. There was a study done a long time ago by a couple by the name of FOA, F-O-A, FOA and FOA. And what they did was they went to see how men and women define things differently. Men see things like taking out the trash as duty. This is just a duty that I have to do. And if I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. It's just a duty. What's the deal? Women saw that same thing as an act of love. If you loved me, you would want to make my day better, so you would do that. Women say, I've got vomit all over me and formula and other kinds of bodily fluids, and I don't feel good. You say, I don't care. But she does. So you have to understand that if you'll see things through her point of view and recognize when you don't take that trash out, that's not romantic to her. The most romantic thing you could do for her is say, you know what? I'm home. Why don't you take 3 hours, go take a bubble bath, go to the mall, go outside, go walk around. You have no responsibilities whatsoever. Let me give you 3 hours to lighten your load. Okay? That is the ultimate aphrodisiac. I guarantee you, if you did that sort of thing, you would have a sex life, because she would be thinking, oh, he's so sweet to do that for me. And I'm rested and recharged, so I'm going to get 9 kinds of contraceptives, and we're going to do this. Right?
Right, exactly.
See, you just got to see it differently through her eyes. What you and I think is romantic, that's not what they think is romantic. What they think is romantic is lighten my load, treat me like a princess, and I will then have a whole different attitude. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay, now to get Caitlin back to where she was before the triplets, Gold's Gym has offered to help her with a free 1-year membership to your local gym, plus a trainer to motivate you when you need a push. A personal trainer, all right? Plus, our Robert Reams here, who's kind of our fitness nutrition director guru, it works with our weight loss challengers, is going to work with you personally to oversee this whole thing to get you back where you really feel good about your body. Then we're going to help Caitlin get out of those scrubs and sweats. JCPenney's is going to give you $1,000 for a wardrobe. $1,000 wardrobe. Okay. Now, when you're looking better and feeling better, we want intimacy to have a fighting chance, so they're going to need some private time away from the triplets to connect with one another. So Babysitters for Hire has agreed to help out by babysitting the triplets 1 day a month for a year. So you can go out every night for a year.
Thank you so much.
Okay? Now, I think you'd give a boy a break.
I think I can.
It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Give the boy a break,
Okay.
okay? All right. Next, their kids say they're too old to kiss. They say it's just yucky for mom and dad to show any affection. I have a few tips on getting alone time for you adults when we come back.
When my mom and dad kiss, I think it's gross and disgusting.
No kid anywhere wants to think about their parents being intimate or having sex.
I don't think my parents are too old to kiss. They can still love each other. I prefer they do it when I'm sleeping.
I can't remember the last time we had a romantic Valentine's Day.
Dr. Phil, how do I get private time with my wife?
Yuck.
Well, we're talking about Valentine dilemmas, and that was Lori and Chuck, whose 3 kids, aged 10 to 24, don't get the hint when mom and dad want alone time. Look, it's all about boundaries. Robin and I had a rule when our kids were growing up. You remember? I remember going into that bedroom. They're standing in the hall. I said, all right, listen to me, you little cretins. Do not knock on this door unless one of you has burst into flame. Okay? True?
It's true.
What?
No, I think my face is red.
And truly, you want your kids to observe appropriate affection so they understand how this works for later in life. Okay, our next Valentine dilemma comes from Megan, who says after 2 years of reminding, repeating, and correcting her space cadet boyfriend, she's just over his forgetfulness. Now, okay, so I actually made a list of this. You forgot to cook Megan's dinner. You said you would, and you didn't. You forgot her mom's present when you went to the store. You were going to the store to get it. And you got there and forgot what you went to the store for. You forgot to let the dogs out. That's messy. You forgot the date that you moved in with Megan. You say August, you say September?
Yes,
because it was?
September 13th.
Yeah. September 13th. She's even got the date.
He's a very smart guy, too. I mean, he just finished his teaching certificate. He's going to be a teacher, so I want him to fix this problem before he carries it into the school system and fix the kids.
All right. Well, so that's just one problem, though, right? You've got some confessing to do, true?
I do. Well, you know, the forgetting part, that's the only thing I could come up with to actually get you to believe that that's why we were coming here today. And I actually have something else I want to tell you. That, that you're my best friend. You're my soulmate. I can't see the rest of my life being without you. And I love you. Will you marry me?
Right?
Well, both your hands are shaking so much. Okay, now I've got to see this ring. Oh, have we gotten a shot? You did good here. Did we? You seeing that? Do we have a shot of this? Now, Mike actually went to Robbins Brothers to pick out a ring for you, and the folks at Robbins Brothers provided the engagement ring for Mike. It's a 1-carat diamond ring, and I want to thank their director of advertising, Diane Ferraro, for their Valentine generosity. So you really got into the spirit of this, right, Diane?
Oh, we sure did. It was a pleasure. And you know, I have to tell you, Mike picked out the perfect ring for you. He came in, he knew exactly what he wanted. He picked out that 1 carat princess. So Robbins Brothers was thrilled to help, but congratulations.
Just for a video record, because everybody was clapping, oohing, and on, you did say yes, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, he didn't forget to show up here. He didn't forget to get a ring, and he didn't forget to ask you to spend the rest of his life with
I'm shaking.
All right. Congratulations to both of you. All right, next, she started multiple fires in her kitchen, and that's just from trying to cook. Now, she wants to make a romantic dinner for her husband, but he's actually gotten sick from her previous attempts. So next, I got a secret weapon when it comes to cooking when we come back. Well, if the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, my next guests are in huge trouble. This Valentine's Day, Lily says she wants to cook her husband Nick a meal that's not burnt or going to make him sick, which would be an improvement from what I hear. Let's find out about this Valentine dilemma.
My first impression of my wife, she can cook, she can do it all.
He thought I found this hot Latin little Mexican girl that would have great food all the time. Poor guy. Just not what he got.
Within the first month, on Saturday, she was cooking pancakes. Sunday, it was pancakes. After 3 weekends in a row, I was just fed up with them. And it was at that point that I realized the gig was up. I was deceived.
Well, Nick says he has no choice but to learn how to cook.
My cooking really sucks.
I really believe that Lily wants to be a good cook. It's just the end result that's the problem.
I really have tried to cook for my husband many of times. It just all seems to go wrong. I was gonna make shrimp scampi until it asked for wine. I didn't have white wine, so I decided to put in red wine. By the time he came home, my shrimp scampi was purple. It was so disgusting. We started making gagging noises.
There are many times that I've come home to a horrid smell. She tried to cook, and whatever she was putting into the microwave had tin foil on it, and next thing you know, there were fireworks coming out of the microwave. She did almost bring our marriage. The best thing that Lily is good at is keeping my wine glass full when the table's set.
It's our first Valentine's Day as a married couple, and I would really like to just surprise them with something that I've never been able to do before, which is cook.
So this was basically bait and switch. You let him think you could cook.
No. I never said anything. I said, I'm going to make you a great breakfast, and I did. I made banana pancakes, strawberry pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes.
So that's your one trick?
Yes.
All right. Well, all right, look, I do want you to be able, you said you wanted to give him a great dinner for Valentine's Day. So to help Lily prepare the ultimate romantic Valentine's dinner, I've asked a good friend of mine, Iron Chef champion Kat Cora, to show her how it's done. Kat, come on out. So what can she do to dazzle him for Valentine's Day?
Well, what I've done is I've put together a great meal. You don't have any more excuses because this is easy, it's simple, and you can do it in a really good time frame. So what I have here is I've got this great, and I'm actually using savory and sweet chocolates to do this whole menu. So there's a little something for everybody. There's beef, there's chocolate, it's light, it's finessed, so everybody can enjoy it. And what this is a cocoa, it's an ancho cocoa soup. And it's got a little sour cream, light sour cream, cilantro, and then what I do is it's just pureed. It's a lot of nice veggies, zucchini, onions, garlic, a lot of really good spice and chili in here, some ancho chili, and then I just finish it with a little bit of a savory Mexican chocolate on top. I have a little bowl here, and you're gonna love this. You will love this soup, I promise. And you can do this, because it's really just sauteing the vegetables very quickly, adding in the spices, and then pureeing it.
So you can boil vegetables, right?
She can boil vegetables. If she can make pancakes,
No,
if
come
you can
on.
make pancakes, you can boil vegetables.
Look, even I can fry water.
Okay. The next thing I'm making is a quick mole. Now again, we're using a Mexican chocolate or a savory or bittersweet chocolate, and this has a cocoa chili blend that you can buy in your local grocery store. It's all blended up for you, so you don't have to worry about measurements. It's all blended and ready to go. So what I do is I take, this is onion, garlic, a little bit of chili in there. We've got some red bell pepper, all kinds of really good flavors, cilantro in here, and again, a little chocolate melted in. After you've pureed everything, you take it off and you add in some brown sugar, a little bit of brown sugar, because you want a sweet savory, just to sweeten it up a little bit, but not too sweet, a little sweet savory. A little bit of the cocoa chili blend that you can find in your local grocery store, right in there. And then again, I'm gonna take a little bit of chocolate and grate it, same chocolate, just a little bit of Mexican savory chocolate, grate it right over it, mix it in, and then you've got a quick mole. Now, moles usually take hours to make. This is a quick, simple, cut-down version of a mole, but it's still absolutely fantastic.
What do you do with the mole?
The mole I'm gonna put over this beef tenderloin.
Oh, where'd you get this? How's she gonna do this without burning the house down?
Well, that's it. That's good. That's a good question. So what you're going to do here is you can do this either in a saute pan or you can do it on an indoor grill or an outdoor grill, depending on your situation. Okay?
You want me to have a
there
grill
you go.
in the house?
Do you have an outdoor grill?
Yeah.
You do.
Because the firefighters can get quicker to the
This
outdoor
might
grill.
be your job.
It's our second grill.
So what
you
we'll
can do
is,
the beef. You can do the beef, right?
We can have Lily put the rub on it. And again, what I'm using is this is just a cocoa chili rub. It's the same one you bought at the grocery store, the same mix that I put into the mole. And what I did was just did the cocoa chili rub on it, some sea salt or just regular kosher salt, and a little bit of cracked pepper. That's it. Very simple to put the rub on. Then what you're gonna do is just slice it. Now I'm using beef tenderloin here, but you can also use flank steak. You can also use a skirt steak, something a little less expensive. Put it on the skewers. You can throw this on the grill for her while she's finishing up the meal. How's that sound? Doing okay so far?
Are you glazing over, or you look like you have mole in your eyes?
You can use this for several different things. I mean, it's definitely a great go-to sauce. And again, quick, easy, and fast. Now, this is the sexy part, okay? There's nothing like Valentine's Day or a romantic meal without a chocolate fondue. Does everybody agree with that? Little chocolate. You want to come over?
Yeah.
Come over here and get a little bit in here. I've just added a little bit of cream here, a little bit of sugar, melted the chocolate over the stove, and voila, you have the fondue. Now, this little pot right here, it keeps it warm. If you don't want to do this, you can also do a double boiler at home. But this is a little bit more romantic for 20, 25 bucks. All right, so what you do is just take a little bit of strawberry here, and Dr. Phil, you know, this is where you can get a little romantic with Robin, too.
Yeah, she goes
Little
for
romance.
anything chocolate, yeah. Yeah,
Little
she's
dip
all
in
about
there.
chocolate.
Feeding each other. I mean, the great thing about this menu, too, is like I said, there's a little something for everybody.
All right, and you don't have to remember all this because Kat's giving a copy of Cooking from the Hip to everybody in the audience today. This is her book. If you just cannot cook or you just don't want to, then you can go out to dinner, right? The Cheesecake Factory wants everybody here to have a romantic meal. So everybody in the audience is getting $100 to spend at the Cheesecake Factory. Kat, thank you for working with these guys.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. All right, next, the firefighter who wants to be smoking hot for the Valentine dinner date. I know what you're thinking, a guy who cares. It's a woman. We're going to reveal how to transform your looks for Valentine's Day when we come back. Candy says her Valentine dilemma is figuring out how to dress sexy for her boyfriend. Now, look, she is a self-admitted tomboy who grew up rolling around in the mud and says her boyfriend has never seen her in a dress, ever. Now, they are both firefighters, and Candy says the only time she gets hot is when they're fighting a fire.
I'm definitely a fashion disaster, and if anybody needs help, it's definitely me. Travis has never seen me wear a dress. Our first day, we were gonna go out to dinner. While I was in the shower, we got an emergency call, and I had to jump out of the shower, pull my hair up in a ponytail, throw on whatever clothes I had laying there, and respond. I've never got that chance to dress up and kind of wow him. My style is definitely comfy tomboy. When I'm at the station, I usually have a department shirt on, jeans or sweatpants, my hair pulled up, and looking pretty rugged, I guess. Today is Super Bowl Sunday, and this is what I'm wearing. We have people coming leaving here in about 15 minutes.
I would like to see Candy wear a dress, a skirt, a change from the jeans and sweatpants.
This shirt is definitely not sexy. It says pet your dog, not your date, so that's probably a big turnoff. This is our first Valentine's Day together. I'd love to have that first date with Travis that I never got to have. We're out there saving people's lives, and I'd like for Dr. Phil to save me and make me over.
So I asked Robin for a little help here because that's just her forte. She met up with Candy at JCPenney where the transformation began.
Hi, Candy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, good.
Nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you.
I'm Robin McGraw.
I'm your project.
Yay. We're going to have a ball today.
Okay.
You know, I chose JCPenney's because I love their clothes and such affordable prices.
This is going to be a lot of fun because I'm clueless about fashion.
So when's the last time you wore a dress?
I can't remember the last time I wore a dress.
Well, I've picked out some that I think are beautiful and I think would be beautiful on you. Now, I know it's Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So I've picked out a red one, and you can never go wrong with the really sexy black dress. And because of the holidays, again, I picked out a pink one. I think what might be really pretty is if we made it a little shorter.
Okay.
Because you obviously have very nice legs. All right, let's get started. So try this one on. Let's see what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, I have to say, you need to start wearing dresses because you look beautiful in a dress. I mean, you have beautiful skin, beautiful long neck. That dress line, that neckline is perfect. Try that one on. I'm not sure. We may like it, we may not.
Okay. Like a sack of potatoes.
Let's not do this one. Let's go try another one. This may be the one. Let's start thinking about shoes.
Never done high heels, so this will be a first.
There's always a first time. And look how beautiful your foot is in that shoe. You have toe cleavage. There's nothing more beautiful, more sexy than toe cleavage. You've got it going on. Okay, we have the perfect dress. Now we want the perfect hair. So let's get started. Let's talk about it. Take it down. Let us see what you got. So I would love to see it blonder, lighter, and just pick it up a little bit so it can kind of swing when she comes out.
Okay. Okay.
Well, work your magic.
Great.
Good luck.
Thanks. Okay, I'm ready.
How does that feel?
Feels really good.
Okay, Travis, I hope you're ready because you've got one hot Valentine about to come out. Now, Candy said that she would rather carry a 200-pound man out of a burning building than walk in high heels. So I took Candy through some drills. Heel, toe, land on your toe. Heel, land on your toe.
Oh, land
See?
on your heel first?
No,
Wait.
put down the heel.
Okay.
And then land on your toe. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Like this. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Okay, see if you can run in them. Now, if you can run in them, you can walk in them. Travis, you are not going to believe how smoking hot Candy looks.
Okay, well, Robin's been working her magic. So first, let's see Candy before. And now let's see Candy's new look for Valentine's. Come on out, Candy. All right, so Travis, what do you think?
Very beautiful. Very, very attractive now. She's good.
You did a beautiful, no, not just good, you did a beautiful job in those heels. I'm very proud. She's never worn heels. You look gorgeous.
How do you feel?
I feel like a Disney princess.
Y'all had a ball, I know.
Thank you.
All right, now, thanks to Sephora and JCPenney for helping with this makeover. And they also sent, of course, these are all your clothes. They also sent over a little gift card for you for a couple $100 to continue building on your wardrobe. So you can have fun with that. So good job. All right, now what's the worst, most unromantic gift you ever received? Find out the winner of our contest next.
I feel great. Thank you so much for everything. You're so welcome. I love your color. Thank you.
The worst Valentine's Day gift I ever received was this backpack vacuum. I think I look like one of the Ghostbusters.
My husband ordered a lovely bathroom scale. complete with a body fat meter. And if he had been in the room, I probably would have flung it at him.
My husband once gave me an iron. Leave it to a man to give you a practical present for Valentine's Day.
One Valentine's Day, he gave me a big red heart card that he made out of a red manila folder, and on the inside, it had turkey targets, the kind you use for hunting. I love my husband, but he does not have a romantic bone in his body.
Well, those were some of the worst gifts viewers say they received.
A vacuum cleaner, a scale with a fat meter, and an iron.
Okay, well, those aren't good. I wouldn't bring home a fat meter to my house. You do what you want. You do what you want. You do at your own risk. Well, the worst Valentine's gift winner is Tricia for getting the turkey targets from her husband. He gave you turkey targets?
He did. He did. I even brought them with me.
And what did you say?
Well, my husband's quite the hunter. I just kind of laughed, and he said, well, you know, I do want to take you turkey hunting in the spring. So for him, it was a very practical gift.
So why did you think it was a good idea, Dennis?
I thought it was a great idea. It was very creative. And it was me, you know, a sign of me allowing her into my world.
Well, FTD heard about Tricia's turkey targets and thought she deserved this bouquet of 75 roses.
No, I don't think I've ever had 75 roses.
And I would make him hold those on the plane on the way home. Now, FTD also wants to give Tricia a bouquet of roses every week for a year. Okay? And so y'all can enjoy with her, everyone in the audience is getting a $50 gift certificate to send flowers to their Valentine. Now, we also have some great ideas for romantic gifts this year, and you just can't miss with these.
Okay, check out this gold-dipped heart necklace from Dog Eared. It comes right on the card that writes about love. You may have seen their jewelry on shows like 90210, Grey's Anatomy, my favorite show, and 24. It's simple and precious and not too expensive. And everyone here gets one. You can get this adorable digital brag book from Brookstone. It's a photo album that you can take anywhere and show pictures like these. It comes in red or pink for Valentine's Day.
See, I didn't get that when we saw that, but this is something where you just carry this with you in your purse or pocket, and you flip it open and show everyone.
And guess what? Everyone gets one. I love that.
Okay. Now, I love this one because it can be kind of romantic, actually. All the movies you can watch, you never have to leave the house. Just make a list of the movies you want to see, and Netflix will send them your way.
Okay, so ladies, you can order all of the romantic movies. The top picks are Sleepless in Seattle and When Harry Met Sally.
Now, if your man says no way to chick flicks because they're all the same, point him in the direction of movies like Die Hard and The Terminator. And the good guy tends to win in the end, always. So everybody in the audience gets a free year subscription to Netflix. Okay, now how cool is this? We're talking about a pink cell phone from Samsung. It's called the Instinct. It can play music, take pictures, has a GPS, live television, email, and the internet, and much more. Great idea for Valentine's Day. Everybody in the audience is going home with one. Yeah, isn't that cool?
That is cool. And for those of you who are in the mood to get away with your Valentine, how about 2 nights at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas? The MGM Grand is known for its maximum Vegas experience and provides the best of everything, including romance. Everyone in the audience gets to go.
thanks to Cat Cora for coming and showing everybody how to cook. You guys have to stay married because you got engaged on the Dr. Phil show, right? Yes. All right, good. Thanks for being here.
Today on Dr. Phil.
Sex or no sex, it's still being unfaithful.
When does friendship turn into emotional infidelity?
I don't call it cheating. I like the attention.
I don't want to be used.
I've been very truthful.
You've been very truthful, but you went behind his back and wrote these love letters to his best friend.
Will this be their turning point?
Do you love your husband?
Of course I do.
Don't say, of course I do, like anybody could see.
We're here because we want to be together.
We are here because he wrote in because you were running around with other men having emotional affairs.
I was in denial.
I just want it to stop here.
I'm trying to get you to open your eyes and realize there are consequences. Amanda, you are about to lose everything. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
10 seconds to air.
I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. Here we go. I want you to get excited about your life.
4,
Get ready,
3,
see. Let's do it.
Go, Dr. Phil. You are going to find today's show really, really interesting. I have a question for anyone married or in a relationship. Would it be okay with you if your spouse had close friendships with members of the opposite sex? I mean, if your husband had a female friend he spent a lot of time with, if your girlfriend or wife hung out with guys, emailed them, called them, had lunch with them, that would be okay with you? Well, but when does it go from a simple friendship to emotional infidelity? I mean, is there a line, and what constitutes crossing that line? We're about to meet a husband who says his wife has crossed that line. Randy says that during their 11-year marriage, Amanda has been emotionally unfaithful, in his opinion, time and time again. Now, he's a former Navy SEAL. He says he feels like he's in a constant state of red alert because he has to watch Amanda like a hawk, fearing she will cheat on him yet again.
Amanda's emotional affairs are at the heart of our problems. Sex or no sex, it's still being unfaithful. I can't trust her. I've lost jobs because I've had to follow her and keep an eye on her. Amanda will get distant, argumentative, sex going to maybe 2-3 times a month. Amanda cheating is no big thing to her. She thinks she's never crossed the line. She's never had sex with anybody else. I find it difficult to believe that she was able to kiss people, hug people, write I love you notes, email them, meet them in parking lots. If she's capable of going that far, why stop there?
Well, maybe some of you young mothers out there can relate to Amanda, who says she's not looking to replace her husband, but merely wants a little more freedom from Randy's controlling behavior.
The emotional affairs, I don't look at them as a big deal. I don't call it cheating. A quick hug was really all that I've ever done. I was never planning on having sex. I do like the tingly feeling you get as far as falling in love and the newness of it, but these were definitely just fantasies. Or maybe I really was just physically attracted and thought I was developing feelings, but I was never looking to replace my husband. If I had a little more trust, maybe it wouldn't even happen. Randy has spied on me. He drives by the house to see if I'm
having someone over. He comes home and immediately checks the history on the computer to see what I've been doing.
I got this so that I could keep track of the wife on the internet. I could tell when she's on.
I don't have much of a life. I feel trapped in this house, in these walls. I do feel like I have to look over my shoulder even when I'm not doing anything wrong. I feel violated. I need some more freedom in this marriage.
Well, you heard Amanda say she's been involved in fantasies. Not real cheating, but you be the judge. Now, listen to this incident that happened between Amanda and a young man she met at her children's school.
And he was about 20. And it started just by a physical attraction. I just looked at him, and I saw him every day for months before I even spoke to him. I never talked to him on the phone. I never emailed him. We did exchange some words.
I was devastated. I mean, here she is picking up our children. I couldn't believe that she could incorporate our children and cheating in the same thing.
This young man did tell me where he worked, and I ended up going to see him at his job. And I did give him a hug.
One night, Amanda made a big deal. She was going over to this girlfriend's house who, come to find out, has an open relationship with her husband. They both have sex and girlfriends on the side. This woman told me that she had set up for Amanda to meet this kid. So what they were gonna do was a little hookup. When I confronted Amanda, she denied it.
I had no intentions of having sex with this young man.
Well, most recently, Amanda has moved to online flirtations. This is starting to get involved with these social networking sites.
This last emotional affair that I had, I met him on Facebook. He applied to an application as far as being interested in me, and I thought that was kind of neat. And I pursued finding out who he was, and we corresponded via email 3 or 4 times. Randy, once he found out, he had checked my emails, called me, and made a big deal out of it.
She tells me that she likes to be on the internet, in chat rooms, talking to people, that it's no big thing. It's just a little fun, it's just a little flirting.
It was very, very innocent, almost like a friendship.
Okay, there's 3 things that I want to cover today. One is what you're doing. This, what I think is an infatuation addiction, where you say you like that tingly feeling. The second thing I want to talk about is, what the hell are you thinking? I mean, you know she's doing this, and you continue to just say, well, each time, I guess, is okay. And there's a dependency there that I'm troubled by.
Okay? Just because somebody messes up, or just because I'm not perfect, doesn't mean that I'm trash or that I need to be replaced. It means that I need to fix it. In some way, there's something that's not clicking that needs to be fixed.
Do you believe you teach people how to treat you?
No, I think you earn it.
Yeah, that's semantics, but we'll talk about that. That's one of the 3 things. I talked to you about is one, and then the third is just the dysfunctional nature of this relationship. See, I'm bothered by something that my dad used to say: for every rat you see, there's 50 you don't. And I think it's pretty naive, Randy, for you to believe that what you know is everything there is to know. You don't really think you know 100% of what's going on.
I don't know 100%, and I can be honest with you that I don't want to know 100%. I just want it to stop here, and I want to find out what I'm not doing to achieve some type of area where, when she needs something, or when she's in need of attention, or where she feels like she's just the monotonous everyday mother taking care of 3 kids, picking up her husband's laundry and doing, whenever she needs that extra attention, she comes to me.
So what are you looking for that you're not getting from him when you go out and do these things?
Well, to be honest, I like the attention. I mean, it really starts as a very innocent, flirtatious eye contact. It really isn't drawn out to become an affair. I never, ever wanted to step out on him at all, ever. These were during times where we were either arguing a lot or we weren't talking. We need to learn how to communicate. We have a hard time communicating how we feel. A lot of these things are unresolved, and they bring up really, really hurtful feelings when we try to talk about it.
Okay, this is a truth test, by the way, because listen, if y'all come in here and you try to be right and kind of cover things up and all of that, then we're just going to waste our time.
It wouldn't help us
if you're not willing to take a hard look, you say, oh, I don't want to know things. Yes, you do. You want to know what you need to know to fix this situation.
I want to make sure I'm not crossing the line and controlling my wife. I want her to have her freedom. I want her to be gone and go with her girlfriends, call me one night and say, hey, listen, you know what? I had a couple drinks. I don't want to drive home. I'm going to stay here with so-and-so. And believe that and be able to rest that night knowing.
You don't want to be controlling, but you don't want to be a schmuck either.
No, I don't want to be taken for a fool.
Yeah.
I don't want to be used, but I also
You playing
know...
him for a fool?
No. We've been married for 11 years. You know,
Okay,
I love
well,
him very much.
okay, well, we're going to talk about that. This is a truth test, because I'm telling you, this thing can be fixed, and it can also go in a real bad way. And right now, it's headed in a real bad way. Randy says Amanda failed her biggest test when she tried to cheat with his best friend, a rock and roll singer. But she says, oh, you know, we weren't really headed anywhere. We weren't really doing anything. I just was chatting him up. We'll hear about that painful incident when we come back.
Part of me dreamt about being with my husband's best friend. He was in a band, and that kind of turned me on. I thought I was falling in love.
You have to catch Amanda. You have got to get dirty. You have got to sacrifice everything to find out, because Amanda will lie till her grave.
Okay, we're talking about what happens when a spouse looks outside the marriage for friendship. Sometimes that friendship can cross the line into emotional intimacy. Then it's a short step to physical interaction. Trust me, the grass is not always greener. In the case of Randy and Amanda, Randy says the most damaging betrayal happened when his wife went behind his back and wrote a love letter, not to him, but to his best friend.
The attraction to my husband's best friend was definitely physical, and he was in a band, and that kind of turned me on a little bit too. Part of me dreamt about being with him, but these were just fantasies. What we did was we talked on the phone, and we would kind of just make eye contact when he was visiting Randy. I was falling in love. I did write him a letter stating that I had feelings for him, and that's how it ended.
I was devastated. I was done. He showed me the letters, and he let me listen to the voicemails that she had left for him, saying how much she thought about him, and that every time she listens to his voice, she thinks he's singing to her. Her feelings are for him, but, you know, she's married and she feels torn, but yet she wants to pursue and see if maybe we can't get together somehow. I went out to the bar, and I went back to the house. Anything that we had had sex in, gave to each other, I destroyed.
He was very, very drunk. The police came. We ended up separating that night.
What would have happened if this guy hadn't fronted you out?
Honestly, I really don't know. I was in denial, and I probably would have just continued to go with it.
So it got interrupted because he went to your husband and said, your wife's writing me love letters. Right. Which seems like a pretty good friend to me, that he would do that. I don't know the rest of him, but at least he told you the truth. What's happened in the ones where you haven't been caught?
They were very innocent. I mean, there's only been the ones that have been talked about on the show. I mean, I've been very truthful. I want to help our marriage, so I'm not trying to...
You've been very truthful, but you went behind his back and wrote these love letters to his best friend. That's not truthful, is it?
No.
And you hid that from him.
Right.
What did you say in the letter?
I said that, you know, I was developing feelings for him, and I wanted to see how he felt and things like that.
You wanted to explore it.
I mean, I was drinking a lot during that time, so I was leaving these messages when I was...
Right. Then there's this young man at your daughter's school. You said there's nothing to that. You were just going over to this open marriage couple to meet with him for...
I only left the house to bring the girls to school, and he was there every day. It really was just a matter of making eye contact, and that's all it was for a few months. You know, and then I finally said hello, and I mean, it really didn't go very, very far at all.
Do you think that this is appropriate behavior?
I do not.
Because what you said also, which I thought was really interesting, so much so I wrote it down, you said, I need more trust. If I had more trust, then maybe this wouldn't even happen. I feel violated because he's monitoring you, right?
I understand he has to. I mean, I don't know how I would react if
Dr.
the roles
Phil,
were reversed.
I would never. I'm tired of it. I have 3 daughters. I don't want 4. okay? I'm tired of watching. I'm tired of everything else. I want to be able to go to work and know that the woman that I chose to have children with, to live the rest of my life with, is actually keeping my home safe and not allowing negative influences, negative things. Just, you know, the house is supposed to be a wholesome place. It's supposed to be safe and kept safe for your children and for each other.
Okay, but just on what we know, is she didn't cheat on you once. She didn't cheat on you twice. She didn't cheat on you 3 times or 4 times. She cheated on you 5 times that you know about. And it is insanely naive to believe that that's the only things that have ever happened.
Correct.
You are a 100% efficient detective.
I am no idiot.
Yeah. So your belief is that if he would be less controlling, then you wouldn't do these things.
Well, I think we kind of feed into each other because of what I've done. He feels like he needs to do that, and then I kind of react, and it kind of just goes back and forth.
Yeah, if somebody's picking your pocket every day, you tend to watch your pocket.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, isn't that the deal?
Right.
And it's hard to forgive somebody if they're still picking your pocket.
Right.
And aren't you picking his emotional pocket?
I am.
And you, come on, you know the impact of this. You know it's tearing him up. But you would rather get this little tingly high feeling than save him from this pain that he's experiencing.
No, I want it from him. I definitely want to learn how to change things and get it from him.
I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've done the attention thing. I've done going home and telling her the floor was clean, the counter was clean. I've told her thanks for my laundry, thanks for the kids, I've tried to, you look beautiful, God, you look sexy in the morning, you know, whatever it takes to try to build her self-confidence up, but
Well,
I'm
I'll tell
lacking.
you what, I got some good news and some bad news.
Give me the bad first.
I'm going to tell you both right after the break.
Once I go to work and I'm outside the home, I'm a little bit afraid my emotional affairs will turn sexual. I can't say that they will, but it's always been places where I'm at all the time, where I would find and connect with someone. It's not something I'm looking for.
I'm afraid when Amanda gets out of the house for a job that this marriage isn't going to make it.
Well, Randy is worried that when Amanda goes back to work, which is coming up soon, that the trouble will start again. Amanda was fired from her last job when she crossed the line with a patient who was in her care while she was working as a nursing assistant at a psychiatric hospital.
He was a psychiatric patient. He was about 41. Somebody I saw every day. Somebody that I found to have a good sense of humor. I enjoyed being around him. I thought I was developing feelings for him.
Amanda was being accused of having oral sex with that patient. I was shocked. Couldn't believe it. Again. Again.
They didn't have any proof.
She was responsible for helping that person. She was hurting that person. I was in the car and found her with the psychiatric patient. She started screaming to me, I don't want to do nothing with you anymore. I don't want you. I don't love you. Go away.
Now, let me ask you something. Did any stop signs ever go up in your mind that says, this is inappropriate?
Of course.
And what did you say to yourself?
I was able to push that thought away just because of the way I felt towards Randy at the time.
It was interesting when you said that the allegation was that you had oral sex.
Right.
And your response on the tape was not, didn't happen. Your response was, they have no proof.
But it didn't happen. I've never had sex with
Then
anyone.
what you said. What you said was, they've got no proof. I didn't just come in on a load of turnips. I hear what's said and what isn't said. You didn't say it didn't happen. You said they have no proof.
Right. I'm not trying to hide anything.
So you said you liked the attention and you were feeling rebellious.
I do, yeah, I did, yes.
Okay. Well, the hospital didn't see it that way. They thought this was highly inappropriate and
Of
fired
course
you.
it is, of course.
I said before the break, I had some good news and some bad news.
Was that the bad news?
The good news is, you said, I want to know what I need to do. I need to know what I need to stop doing or start doing so I can really connect here.
I've been to my doctor for the last 3-4 years. I've been on whatever type of medication to try to change me so that I could fit the puzzle piece that she needs. And that's just so stupid.
Well, the good news is this has nothing to do with you. The bad news is this has nothing to do with you.
So how can I be of some assistance to this?
Oh,
I can't just sit
you
down
can be of
and
some
watch my...
assistance. No, you can be of some assistance, but you need to understand the problem you have right now is I may very well know more about you than you know about yourself. You know and I know that it's convenient to criticize him when this is all about you. Are you honestly telling me that when you are sending love letters to his best friend, getting involved with a psychiatric patient in the hospital, setting up a meeting with a young boy at an open couple's home, that's all because he doesn't communicate with you?
That was what Randy assumed. I never was willing to, I was never going to go have sexual relations with him in any way.
I know, that's what you said all along. Right. You never intended.
And that's the truth.
Well, that may be true. It may be true. I don't believe it. There's one level at which I do believe it. Because I believe you are scared to death of intimacy. Mm-hmm. And so I think there is a point that you get to where you probably would bail in most situations. I don't think it's because of any integrity. I think it's because of a fear of intimacy. I don't think you are comfortable at all being open and vulnerable. I think you like the power. I think you like the exhilaration. I think you like being able to set it up and make it work so you can prove that you have this attractiveness, that you have this desirability. And I think you've been searching for that for a long, long time. Wasn't he the first guy you met when you left your dad's place?
We were working in the same restaurant.
Right,
yes.
and that's where you met him.
Right.
So you go get a job and you walk in and you meet him the first day.
Yes.
And how long before you went out together outside the restaurant?
We went out that night.
That night?
Yeah. We had ice cream that night, yeah.
Yeah.
And we actually had our first kiss that night.
Yeah. You ever wonder if she was running toward you or away from where she had been? And there's a big difference. Girls leave their families for one of two reasons. They're either running towards somebody they really want or running away from something they do not want.
I think it was a little bit of both, I'm going to be honest with you. Because I'm not going to put myself down and make it look like I wasn't a catch. So I'm going to put a little bit on both, okay? I'll put a little bit on both.
Yeah. Yeah. How much older are you, Randy?
I'm starting to feel ancient. I'm 9 years.
Think that anything to do with the attraction?
I was very physically attracted to him immediately.
Yeah. You said you liked the fact that he was older.
Yeah. I felt like I needed someone to protect me. At the time, we were both coming from very hard times in our life.
You know, the worst thing that can happen in a marriage is for there to be a parent-child relationship.
Correct.
Where you're seen as the parent, the disciplinarian, the rule setter, the boundary keeper, the one that sets all the standards and guidelines, because then that's like dad. Right. And you know what happens when kids grow up? They rebel against dad. They break off, they peel off, they start going out and, dating and stuff like that. I wonder if there's a dynamic here where this has been defined in a parent-child way. You're older. You are the one that monitors everything, sets the rules, and holds her to a standard, right?
Yes.
And you rebel against that, do you not?
Yeah.
Then we say, well, gee, this doesn't seem to be working. All right, coming up, what happened in Randy's past that I think is playing a major role with part number 2. I said part number 1 is why Amanda is addicted, in my opinion, to this infatuation high. And part 2 is why is Randy reacting to this the particular way that he is. We'll be right back.
My husband is always wondering where I am and worried if I go to the grocery store. If I'm talking with someone, he's thinking that I want to leave. There's no trust. I need some privacy.
When I was a child, I was abused. I was always shoved around, shown that I was undesirable and incapable of being loved or cared for. As soon as I came home from school, I was locked in my room because they didn't trust me. There was no sports, there was no playing outside. I never really experienced security or true love.
Well, there was Randy, who is struggling in his marriage because his wife, Amanda, continues to have relationships that, in my opinion, in his opinion, and I think even in her opinion, crosses the line. She's looking for comfort. She's looking for exhilaration outside the relationship. You have tried to police this, thinking that if you put up enough fences, if you put up enough monitoring devices, you can stop it before it starts.
So far, I've caught it before. It's gotten to a point where I couldn't accept.
But you don't really know how far they went. All you know is what you know. You don't know what you don't know.
I can't let my mind run wild. It does it all day long. I can't let my mind play with me. I'm in control, not my mind. So there's no possible way that I can picture it going farther. I have, and it's affected certain outcomes and arguments and discussions because I've actually been able to picture it going farther.
Do you think we're products of our learning history?
It's no excuse. It's no excuse for me to make mistakes in the future. If I've already made them, it's no excuse.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not offering it as an excuse. I'm just wanting to be sure we understand everything that's going on here. You want to have a stable, happy, healthy
safe
relationship.
Yes.
And safe is a good word.
Safe is my #1 thing.
You want to be able to go to bed at night and not have to worry if your world's crumbling around you. And in fact, you go to bed every night
with the world crumbling around me,
feeling that it is in fact crumbling around you.
And lately the stress has become physical on him. The anxiety from worrying, and it becomes very physical.
Okay, so, and you know these things about him, right? And isn't it odd that the very thing you do to fill your own need is the worst thing you could do in hurting him?
I do tend to run on my emotions, and that's been getting me in trouble. I need to learn different ways, and what I need to do is be able to go to him and say, look, it's happening again. I just never did that. I never felt comfortable going to him initially and saying,
okay, now respond to my point. What I just said is you have made a decision that based on results is very selfish, it's self-serving, it's egocentric. I know what I'm doing creates him the #1 pain in his life. I'm going to do it anyway.
Despite the fact that it's selfish behavior, I'm not a selfish person, and I never intended on, I don't know how it's going to look, but I never intended on any of this to happen. It was never anything I was looking for.
You have had 5 assignations that have destroyed his feelings of safety and security. And your response was, I wrote it down, Randy responded badly. You respond badly.
What am I supposed to do, throw a party?
I don't know.
He's justified in feeling that way.
One would think. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to get you to open your eyes and realize when I do this, there are consequences. It's like, this feels good to me. I won't think about what this does to my husband, to my children.
That's exactly
what is this, the Scarlett O'Hara School of Management? I'll think about this another day.
Right.
I mean,
that's what I do.
But that you can't do that and expect this marriage to survive, right? All right, Amanda and Randy's 3 little girls are suffering the fallout from mom and dad's problems. I mean, kids are so receptive. We're going to talk about that when we come back.
I have crossed the line with my children as far as them being involved in our disagreements. My younger child, she's come up when we're arguing and said, Mommy, I don't want you to go find another man. That's pretty sad for your 4-year-old to be saying that.
The girls are at school. I feel lonely. I should be able to go and meet with a friend for lunch, but there's no trust. Randy checks on me. I need to go through him as far as making a decision. It's a permission thing.
Amanda has trapped herself. She has made herself a prisoner of all the guilt. If I left her, she'd be emotionally unstable on medication with no control over her life.
Well, we're talking about a marriage rocked by a pattern of emotional infidelity and, according to the wife, over-control by the husband. I mean, all of this is just a cycle. It's happening over and over, and it's affecting the children, as anybody would predict. Randy and Amanda are making the big mistake of hashing all of this out in front of their daughters and involving them in the details of these emotional affairs.
The kids see everything. I think they're feeling resentful towards me. They don't want to come to me about certain things. Maybe they don't trust me. They think I'm going to leave.
I crossed the line when they were in the car when I was looking for my wife. And when I burst out and say mean things to my wife, my oldest one, she's pretty understanding. The middle child is resentful towards her mother. And the younger child, just a few months ago, when she's come up when her mother and I were arguing and said, Mommy, I don't want you guys fighting. I don't want you to go find another man. That's pretty sad for your 4-year-old to be saying that.
Amanda, you are about to lose everything. You are emotionally promiscuous. Do you get that?
Yeah, I do.
You two are pulling out the worst characteristics of each other.
In front of
you
the
are
children.
bringing out the worst in him. He is bringing out the worst in you. And your children are in the front row watching all
I
of
just
this.
want to say, we don't deliberately talk in front of them. Our house is very small, and they just hear us, and we argue, and they hear us.
Okay, well, then I'll chat with them, and I'll tell them that they didn't mean to scare you half to death. They didn't mean to make you think your whole world is going to come apart. They didn't mean to make you say, Mommy, I don't want you to have another man. Come on.
The only reason she said that is because she heard us talking about it. She's only 5. She doesn't remember.
And how did she hear you talking about it?
Well, we talk about it.
Because you were talking about it within earshot of her. That is irresponsible, and it again is selfish. You want to vent at the time, so you argue, and it changes who they are.
Can I just say something? Whenever we try to talk about anything and we start arguing, this comes up. So yeah, it's not just me talking about it.
Yeah, this is kind of the elephant in the living room.
Correct.
I will take responsibility for the fact that our children hear everything. I will take all of it.
I don't want you to take responsibility for it. I want you to stop it. You need to stop doing this. Get in the car, drive down the street if you need to talk about this. Don't do it in front of the children. It scares them to death.
That's my fault. I can't
Then
let her take
don't
the heat for
do
that.
it.
It's my fault. When I see something that is not done, Dr. Phil, or something that is not finished, or there are open questions, it's got to be a complete package or it's not finished with me. And I can't sit here and go a day, 4 hours and say, well, I'll just wait till the kids are in bed and then I'll talk to her. I got to know now.
Not only can you, you must. You are making these children pay for this, and they're innocent in this. You guys, this is what I mean. You're bringing out the worst in each other. Look, you have a problem with intimacy. You are addicted to this constant high, which means emotionally, you are fixated at this 16-year-old level. You're fixated at this 16-year-old level when we used to like fall in love in high school and just, oh my God, they're the most wonderful people, and then 3 days later we hate them, don't talk to them. You are fixated at that level. You are living that way in your life now, and you're going from one relationship to another just like you did in the cafeteria at the high school. The problem is you got 3 kids who've hooked their wagon to your star, and you are married and you are a mother, and it is time that you grow up. And if you think she's going to go to work right now, go work outside the home, and not get involved with somebody in the first week, then one of us is a fool.
I can't do this on my own anymore. I've been doing it for 11 years. I have sold things that I have worked my entire life for. I have sold awards that I got in the Navy. I have gotten rid of everything. I don't even have my original wedding band. Whatever it took to make my family make it, I did. And I don't feel any remorse. I feel no shame in it. But I need help. I cannot do this on my own anymore.
Well, there is a point at which you have to be willing to walk away. You have to be willing.
I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. I won't quit.
I'm not saying you're at that point, but there's a point at which you have to save yourself and your children if she doesn't get this Pollyanna attitude off of her face. Oh, it's okay. I'm not really doing anything. You are violating your relationship, and that has to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is for you to figure out in your own mind what I already know, which is that you are damaged and you have problems with intimacy, and that has to change. Does this sound like the truth to you?
Yeah, it does.
All right, we'll be right back.
To ease the pain, I drank alone every day, especially on the weekends. It was to the point where I would pass out.
Amanda wouldn't remember where she went, remember what she did. Amanda wouldn't remember kicking me, smacking me, yelling at me, telling me that I don't love you. Amanda wouldn't remember sex.
have a couple of beers at night with Randy, but it's nothing like it was before.
Amanda's drinking has been excessive. If she drinks more than just a couple, I'm afraid Amanda would be raped, abducted, murdered, or kids would be molested. These are the things that go through my mind constantly.
Well, that was Amanda, who admits that she's made the mistake of using alcohol to escape her marital issues with Randy. Do you love your husband?
I love him. Of course
Why?
I do.
Well, don't say, of course I do, like anybody could
But
see.
we're here because we want to be together.
No, you're here because he wrote in. You didn't write in.
Right. You're right.
So we aren't here because we want to be together. We are here because he wrote in,
Well,
because you were running around with other men having emotional affairs.
You know, during these times, we were not getting along. I mean, we live in our own life, in our own house, and we know what happens. And a lot of the times we just argue and argue and argue, and these were the times when we weren't talking at all. I mean, weeks, months would go by where we just didn't talk, and it was nice to get the attention from. And again, I wasn't out looking for it. These were places I were all the time.
Look, don't tell yourself that. I don't mind you telling me that because I don't believe it anyway, but don't tell yourself that. I wasn't out looking for these things. Oops, I just wrote a love letter to my husband's best friend. I hate it when that happens.
But years went by. We were friends with him for years. This wasn't just a hasty decision. We were friends with him for quite a long time.
No, it wasn't a hasty decision. It took you a while to get around to him. You had to go through these other ones at the time. You are out looking for some relief. And I want you to have the relief. I just want you to have it in a constructive way. Look, love does change across time. It changes in different ways as we mature in our relationships and individually.
We were married 3 months after we met, and I was already 2 months pregnant with our 10-year-old, so we really didn't have any time together. We were parents from the very beginning.
Okay, so you didn't have the chance to build a relationship, and then here comes Mr. Everything has to be lined up exactly right, Mr. Boundary, got to sweep up everywhere, Mr. Navy officers, got to have everything like that, and you're like, whoa. I'm like free spirit out here playing around, and all of a sudden I got this guy building fences around me. Somebody that's running wild calls for fences. Somebody who builds fences looks for somebody running wild so you can build fences around them. This is dysfunctional. And you've got to stop this Pollyanna, like, oh, gee, it just happens crap. You do this on purpose. You do it because you've got an itch he can't scratch.
Do you believe that I don't want to be away from him? I mean, I don't want to be without him.
No, I do believe that you want to be with him. I do, because I think you are just Pollyannish enough to think, I want everything. I want my husband, I want him to put a roof over my head and take care of me and the kids and protect me from all the evil in the world, and then I want to go out here and get exhilarated and then come home. But you can't have everything. You've got to decide what you want and make a commitment to doing that. And that's what I'm asking you if you are willing to do.
Of course. Of course I am. I don't mean to just say it so, you know, of course. But yes, I am. I am willing to do whatever it takes.
You can say of course.
I mean, I'm sitting here, you know, very vulnerable in front of TV, and I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to make, you know, make a future.
We'll see. You're going to have some work to do here as well. You know that.
How do I let go of the past? That's the reason why how do I let go of the past and go to work and just say, well, if she's doing it, she's doing it. I've got no control over what she's doing, but I need to react appropriately. So if she's doing it, I need to leave her, or do I need to find the problem out of what she's doing, or do I need to build fences up? What the heck am I doing here?
It takes two to do this dance, and if she comes along, then that's fine. If she does not, your job, your responsibility is to protect your children from this toxic nature. And that may mean picking up and leaving, but you're not ready to do that yet. I've got some things I want you to do when we finish here, and then I will see y'all again. Okay? Be right back. At the top of today's show, I asked you how you felt about your spouse having relationships with members of the opposite sex. I wonder if you've changed your opinion about this. You know, one of the things I'm most concerned about with Amanda is if she's having these emotional affairs, she's going to run into an old boy who just doesn't think it's time to stop emotionally. You're going to wind up getting hurt. You're going to wind up getting assaulted in some way. You're playing a game that guys just may not want to play.
Right.
And that's a real danger here. We're going to set some things up, resources for them to deal with. Thank you for being here today. I know this is important. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Today on Dr. Phil.
How to get the most out of your money.
Tips from America's cheapest family.
It's easier than people think.
So you've always been this way.
It works with everything from food to clothes to houses to cars.
What to never pay full price for.
That's huge. Things that you can do to have more money left at the end of the month.
Plus,
cut your grocery bill in half. And if you're not interested in that, you're eating too much. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
10 seconds to air.
I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. Here we go. I want you to get excited about your life.
4,
Get ready,
3,
see. Let's do it. If you're looking for ways to save money, get out your pen and paper and get ready to start taking some notes today. The show is full of real tips to help you save more on clothes, utilities, vacations. We're even going to show you how to cut your grocery bill in half. That's right, I said cut your grocery bill in half. And if you're not interested in that, you're eating too much. You have too much money. You don't want that. All right, in fact, this group here in the audience has some great tricks up their sleeve for saving money, and you're going to hear from them later in the show. Now, my first guests have mastered the art of spending less. The Economides family have the secret to living on around $44,000 a year, and they have 5 kids. Now, they may be frugal, but you would never know it by the way they live. Let's meet them.
I'm Steve Economides.
And I'm Annette Economides, and we are proud to be America's cheapest family.
That is cute.
We have 5 children, and 3 of them still live at home.
And the house we're living in right now is just about paid off. To tell you the truth, we've got extra money. Our spending, even in this economy, hasn't changed.
All right, it sounds intriguing, doesn't it? But they actually live pretty well.
The house itself is about 3,500 square feet. It's 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. It also has a pool.
Very often our kids will wear designer clothes.
This is a Jessica McClintock dress. I got it for $7.
We've gone on some fabulous vacations. We've been to Colorado a couple of times, California and New York several times.
I know that today life is good. We want to encourage others that frugality is not a life of deprivation.
Okay, so how do they do it? Now, I want to show you some of their secrets. Take a look.
We operate on a cash system. We don't use credit. We don't have debt. If we don't have the money for something, we don't buy it. These are my coupons. They can save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year on your groceries.
Freezers are a great tool. It allows you to stock up, allows us to stock up. Frozen milk will last indefinitely. So this milk we bought for $1.53, we're going to keep, and when milk prices go up to $2, $2.50, we're still going to have $1.53 milk.
Our budget is set up so that every possible expense that you think you can occur in a family, money is set aside for that. We buy probably 90% of our clothes at thrift stores. That's what we're comfortable with.
Finding a great bargain is the ultimate prize.
Well, welcome America's cheapest family, Steve and Annette. Also, Abby, Joe, and Becky are here in the audience. Hi, guys. Now, their last name really is Economides. True?
True.
That was your name always?
No, it used to be McGraw, but we changed it.
Yeah, okay. Now, they've written a book called America's Cheapest Family Gets You Right on the Money. And they refer to themselves as the economical Economides. Now, try saying that 3 times really fast. Not good. So, what got you into all of this?
We started out really not living on much money. And we went through a marriage prep class, and they spent 1 week talking about finances, and they shared the concept of budgeting, and we looked at each other and said, we'd never heard it before. Have you heard this? No. And so we gave it a try, and...
You'd never heard the concept of budgeting?
Nope.
Well, you sure got it right once they taught it to you. You learned all that in a week?
No, well, just the 1 week of marriage prep, but we've been living it for 26 years.
Right, so you've always been this way in your marriage?
That's right.
Okay, so you paid off a house in 9 years with kids and making how much money a year?
At that time, our average income was about $33,000, but we didn't buy the biggest house. We bought a repo, we fixed it up, we sold it for way more than we paid for it, but it was just common sense stuff. Don't buy big.
You guys say there are 3 really important concepts that you want to embrace. Number 1 is avoid debt like the plague. What do you mean?
Well, just don't incur debt, because people think debt actually increases their lifestyle because they can buy the nice stuff. But in reality, you've got to pay for it eventually.
So if someone comes to us and says, you know, you may not have the money for this right now, but we'll put it on credit, we say, you know what? We're not interested.
And then you say, live below your means. What do you mean, live below your means?
You have to have a handle on how much income is coming in on a monthly basis. So it's just a numbers thing. So you look at your numbers, you look at your expenses and what you're setting money aside for, and you know that what the sum total has to be less than what you're bringing home.
Okay, but to do that, you have to be willing to tell yourself no. You have to violate the principle of immediate gratification, which in America, I mean, come on. We want what we want when we want it, and we want it now.
You know, it's a lot easier than people think.
Yeah, it really is once you get into it, right?
Here's what we say. You can either borrow the money, you can use credit, or you can use creativity. And if you don't have the money, there are so many ways to get exactly what you want without going into debt. And that's what we've done. And it works with everything from food to clothes to houses to cars.
Well, let's take a look at that. Your third principle is you have to embrace a thrifty lifestyle. Now, I don't want to talk theory today. I want to talk about things you can do. I want to put verbs in our sentences, things that you can do to have more money left at the end of the month or to have more goods and services that you need to run your family. So I wanted to see just how frugal they could be. I gave Steve and Annette a challenge. Take a look.
Dr. Phil, you gave us a challenge to see how many groceries we can get for $100. Let's go shopping.
It is absolutely critical to have a plan when you head to the grocery store. And the grocery list helps you to look through your pantries and take stock of what you already have in the house and your freezers, and then come up with what you want to pick up.
We use walkie-talkies so that as we go throughout the store, as I work the inner aisles and Steve works the outer loop, we can communicate with each other and it helps us get through the store faster.
Yeah, get some more kisses. What aisle are you on?
Aisle 5.
Coupon Queen on aisle 5.
Then we look at the food ads.
They are like your lottery ticket.
Cabbage, you want to know the price on cabbage?
What are the buy prices for things? What are the sale prices for things? That is a better deal.
If you spend 15 minutes a week just planning a week's menu, life will be less stressful and you'll save money too.
The total is
$106.75. That's awesome. We got 13 bags of groceries.
there was strawberries, bananas, ham.
We got toilet paper, toothpicks, cream of mushroom soup, jelly, tuna.
We got 2 gallons of milk because that was the limit that day.
We saved $80.78. Not bad.
Okay, so now that would have cost $186, $190. You got it for just about $100, just by being smart. Do you actually shop that way? Do you call and check and what's this in the paper? You guys communicate? I mean, you look like you're out in the battlefield. Naval Baker Charlie.
This is a strategic strike. We don't want to spend our lives in the store. So we shop once a month. We make it take as little time as possible. We work together as a team.
Okay, but once a month to go to the I mean, could y'all shop once a month for groceries? See, everybody's saying it's not realistic.
It is. Well, you know what we say? We tell people, okay, the average person is going to the grocery store 2, 3, 4 times a week. So what we say, remember, we're black belts. We've been doing this for a long time. So when you're starting out, just go once a week.
All right, well, they've put together a list, and let's take a look at tips on how you can slash the grocery bill. Number one, you say buy bread from bakery outlets because you can get like day old.
Right. Actually, sometimes it's that day. It's so or day old, and if it's the good quality wheat, it's not a big deal.
Okay, and shop in multiple stores. So you say cherry pick.
Right.
You know, if somebody's got this as a loss leader, get that there, then go somewhere else.
Right.
Okay, buy in bulk and freeze the extra items. I mean, people really don't like to eat frozen foods, though. It gets freezer burn and all that. Is there a right way to do this?
If your meats are vacuum sealed in heavy plastic, they will last a year or more.
Okay, you say obviously stock up on sale items. So if you get something that's on sale, you'll buy more than you may need for that period of time.
Exactly.
So, because it's a staple, you'll need it.
Yeah,
for a
so in
period
the
of time.
summertime when barbecue sauce is on sale, we'll get 6 or 8 of them.
Okay, eat leftovers, pretty obvious. Learn which fruits and vegetables are in season and buy at the lowest prices. So don't buy something they've flown in from Guatemala that morning.
Exactly.
Because you can wait and get that when it's in season.
Right.
The point is, you can wind up with pretty much the same stuff and you still got money in your pocket.
That's right.
Or you can get that stuff and you have no money in your pocket. So it's just a matter of what you think your time is worth.
That's right.
Right.
All right. Now, the Economitas family is going to be giving their best money-saving tips throughout the show. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk about how to dress your family for less. I mean, really dress your family for a whole lot less. We'll be right back.
The challenge that Dr. Phil gave us at the thrift store was to see how many clothes we could buy for $75.
It's a Liz Claiborne, and it's a green tag, so it's $5.
Let's check out.
We buy probably 90% of our clothes at thrift stores.
First tip that we use for shopping for clothes is that we go with a list. We don't just go to browse. You want to check to make sure there's no ripped seams, no stains. If there are stains and you think they're washable, ask for a discount. Thrift stores run incredible deals. Sometimes they'll have 99-cent days. Sometimes they'll have fill a bag day. You need to know what their deals are and shop on those days to get better bargains. Be smart about how you shop. Don't buy what you don't need.
We're facing some of the toughest economic times in history, and everyone is looking to cut corners and save money. Now, the Economides family calls themselves America's cheapest family, and they have great tips for living on less. Now, I wanted to see just how thrifty they really are, so I sent them to a thrift store in their hometown to see if they could get outfits for all 5 of them for $75. So let's see how they did.
The challenge that Dr. Phil gave us at the thrift store was to see how many clothes we could buy for $75. Oh man, see, here we go. Look at this, Abby. It's a Liz Claiborne, and it's $10, which means, and it's a green tag, so it's half price, so it's $5 tonight.
Our daughter Becky got 2 skirts and a shirt. Our son Joe got 2 pairs of basketball shorts, a red vest, and a flame shirt. Our daughter Abby picked up a black dress with pink trim and a 2-piece black outfit, and it looked great. I picked a black blazer that I've been looking for a while. Let's check out. I know we did good. Oh, man,
close.
we missed it by $1.75. We got 13 items. It pays to be cheap.
Okay, it makes sense to shop at thrift stores, right? I mean, clearly, we're going to talk about that. Now, I've actually added someone to our group here. Susie Pearson is one of the volunteers at the UCLA thrift shop right here in LA. Now, Susie, you've been doing this for how long?
12 years, over 12 years.
12 years. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, you think that thrift shops are a great idea, but there are some tips that you've got for people that shop at thrift stores, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Like, number one, you say you got to know what the price is before you get there?
Yes, know your prices beforehand. Do a little research beforehand. And so that when you're going into the store, you know if you're getting a good buy or not.
Okay, now, I've been in your thrift shop here, the UCLA thrift shop, and you guys don't just have clothes. You have everything in the world there. You've got electronics and all of that. But you say check those things before you take them out of the store,
yes.
right?
You know, we actually check our electronics ahead of time, but some thrift stores don't. So, you know, make sure you're getting something. And sometimes you can get a 24-hour return policy on them.
Okay.
Not all thrift stores do that, but some do.
Now,
so
see, you got to, and finding these thrift stores, I'm telling you, you can be strategic about this. Like the one that Susie's been involved with forever, kind of sits at a junction between Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and Brentwood.
Right.
So you get really good stuff in there, right?
We do. We get wonderful things.
And aren't most of the thrift stores really for a good cause? What's the UCLA thrift shop been?
Ours goes to patient aid. It's really for people who are quite desperate. And we also buy bloodmobile, we buy ambulances. We really help people in the hospital at UCLA.
Right, so you got close to $1 million in sales last year
Absolutely.
to generate for all of this
Yes.
stuff and all
Yes.
donated things.
Mm-hmm. All donated.
Okay,
all
and
donated.
if you don't want to shop at a thrift shop or you don't need to, then donate to a thrift shop. And I can tell you, the UCLA thrift shop, Robin and I donate there. So if you like some of the stuff you see her in every day, UCLA thrift shop, right there, you can find it. Is that outfit going?
Yes, I will send it over there.
I hope so, Robin.
All right, but now, listen, there can be a stigma about this. These are the Economides kids in the family. How do you guys feel about shopping in a thrift shop?
It's normal. We've done it all our lives.
Okay, now you say that you've never paid more than $10 for a pair of jeans?
I think $10 is expensive.
And how about formal wear?
Formal, $30 is expensive.
I've never paid over $30 for my formals.
Really? $30 for formals, and they look great. Where did you get these clothes?
Savers.
Okay, that's a thrift store. So what'd your outfit cost you?
$15.
Yours was, stand up and give us a little twirl. Okay, very nice. All right, so what'd you pay for, stand up, what'd you pay for your outfit?
Paid $24 for this whole thing.
$24. All right. Did they give you $10 to take the hat, or did you have to pay for that? No. All right, what'd you pay for your outfit?
I paid $12.
Okay, Sam, let's see. Very stylish. Very stylish. All right, so you can get some good deals. Now, Susie put together some low-priced outfits from the UCLA thrift shop. So let's bring out the models. Two of our staffers, Amy and Sarah, along with Matisse, whose mom works here at the Dr. Phil show. All right, now let's start with Sarah.
Well, Sarah is wearing a Banana Republic black dress. The thrift shop price on that is $20. She's wearing BP shoes, which we sell for $18, for a total of $38. Her outfit would retail for over $200.
$200. Okay, give us a little spin here, Sarah. Now, tell us about Amy.
Okay, Amy is wearing a Divine Brentwood jacket, which we sell for $20. She's wearing a pair of Banana Republic pants, which actually she found in the children's section, which she only paid $3 for. We normally charge a little more than that. And she's wearing private collection shoes, which we sell for $15. Her outfit thrift shop total is $40, and it would retail for over $250.
Wow. Okay, what's Matisse got on here?
Matisse is looking great. Matisse is wearing an Abercrombie hoodie, which we sell for $4. A La Cosa long sleeve tee for $4. A knit scarf, we charge $6. She's wearing her own jeans, so they were free, but we would sell them for $4. And the boots are hers as well. We would sell boots for $10 to $12. So the thrift shop total on that is $30, and it would retail for over $100.
Yeah, okay, now Matisse, you gotta give us a little catalog style pose. Matisse, aren't you supposed to be in school today?
I'm pretending I'm sick.
Yeah. Okay, you're pretending to be sick. But didn't you just win like a big literary contest for like the whole school district?
There's this thing called the Reflections Program, and I wrote a poem, and I got first place throughout 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and 2nd place out of the whole district.
All right. All right, when we come back, a couple who keeps blowing their budget and needs some help. Plus, we've got tips and tricks on how to save on your household utility bills. And Susie Pearson and the Economies are all going to be on my SWAT team to get these people living within a budget. We'll be right back.
Every month we go over budget. If we could keep it under $20, that would be really good.
All right, well, it's not gonna be less than 20.
We've got some great tips to help families save on their utility bills. Put a jacket on your water heater to keep it from losing the heat.
We recommend that you close the vents in the rooms that you don't use so that while the heater's working, it heats the rooms that you do need.
Any family that has kids will know this one. Put self-closing hinges on your doors and it keeps the cold from coming in.
Well, that was Steve and Annette Economides, who have written a book called America's Cheapest Family Gets You Right on the Money. Now, those were several of their tricks for how to cut down your utility bill. Now, Daniel and Mandy are a couple who need to read the book. They say they need help learning how to cut back on their expenses. They've separated twice over money. They've even filed bankruptcy, but still can't manage to stick to any kind of budget or guideline.
My greatest fear is that Mandy and I won't be able to pay our bills.
Whenever we weren't able to cover a bill, we would borrow it from friends and family. My parents' donation to us over the years is in the tens of thousands.
When Mandy and I got married, we did have debt totaling $40,000. Hey, babe?
Yeah.
Every month we go over budget. If we could keep it under $20, that would be really good.
All right, well, it's not gonna be less than 20. The original amount for groceries was $300.
Our grocery budget was $700 last month. If we do run out of money, we will use some of the reserve that we have, which is actually gone now.
When we rented the apartment, everything was included: water, sewage, garbage, and now that we're in a house, each one of those are another individual bill.
I didn't think the thermostat was going to be that big of a deal. Turns out, during the winter months, it is a very big deal. We're in this financial tailspin that is just leading us nowhere.
Okay, why do you think you're in the financial pickle?
I don't think we should have rented the house that we live in. I don't think we should have purchased a second car. I just think that we're doing things that we can't afford, and then asking to cut back in areas that shouldn't be cut back.
Okay, why are you doing those things if you shouldn't be doing them? Daniel, what's up?
We moved into the rental house. Originally, we were in the one-bedroom apartment, and my understanding was we weren't very happy in that apartment. We were expecting our second child. Amanda wanted to do a home delivery with our second child, and so we needed a home to be able to deliver that child. And so I remember having the conversation with her and with our pastor and with my parents about, hey, we need to get out of the apartment and get into a house. And so we did, and I'm glad that we did, because I take a look at the yard that our 2-year-old is able to now play around in, and it has more room. We're not as confined to a 800 square foot
Why
house.
are you in financial trouble?
We spend above our means.
Why?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
That's why I ask. See, that's part of the probative process. I ask questions and you enlighten yourself with the answers.
You're a genius.
Thank you. I'm just wondering if you guys have an idea of why you have X and spend Y.
Because we don't know, we just don't know where we are exactly financially. So we get what we want and we don't know when we're going over.
Okay, is that really it? I'm trying to figure it out, because I don't think this is about math.
Right.
I don't think that you spend $3,500 a month when you've got $3,000 because you don't know the difference between $35,000 and $3,000.
I just don't keep track.
Okay, so you just don't bother to keep track. Is it that it's just too negative, so you don't want to think about it? Is it just that you're rebelling against it? What is it?
I think when I go to spend money, I want the emotional payoff, and I just don't care.
Okay, let me tell you, therapy's cheaper than shopping. you can't give yourself a fix with money. And listen, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you exactly why I think you're in the situation you're in, exactly what I think you need to do to get out of it, and exactly why I think you're going to resist it till the cows come home. We'll be right back. I want to introduce you guys to Ashley, who says that she has been able to slash her grocery bills by more than half.
I spend a fraction today of what I used to spend a year ago.
Now, Ashley has put together a list of items she says you should never pay full price for.
There are hundreds of ways to save money. Garage sales are a great place for families to save, especially if you have little kids and you need to buy clothes. We like to shop on eBay for books, CDs, computer supplies. Craigslist is a great place to buy furniture. FreeCycle is another place people can save.
America's cheapest family, the Economides, have been giving us their tips for living on less. In these tough economic times, it's more important than ever to learn how to get the most out of your money. Now, Daniel and Mandy say they need help sticking to their budget and worry they won't be able to make ends meet if they don't curb their spending. Now, look, I've got a theory, and my theory is that people don't get into financial problems because they don't have enough money. They don't get into financial problems because they don't know how to add and subtract in their checkbook or on their budget sheet. Would you agree that that's true with you? You know how to do the math. You can add and subtract.
Yes.
Did you even do long division in school? I mean, we all figured it out, right? We know that, but you don't like to think about this, and you even said, we bought this house because we needed it. We could justify it, but you couldn't afford it.
In the budget, we can. We can. If the numbers work the way that they're laid out, then the budget works. But if we go over in any of those areas, then of course it doesn't work.
And?
It doesn't work.
Exactly. Because you have no room. I mean, if you are so tight on the budget, if you get so much as a head cold, you're bankrupt. When you took bankruptcy in 2004, you had a certain financial profile that was very negative, true?
Sure.
But you took bankruptcy, and so it pretty much wipes all that out, right?
Right.
Would you agree that your financial profile today is pretty much exactly the way it was when you took bankruptcy?
Yes.
Okay, so exactly my point. You were able to wipe all of that out and get a fresh start, and you're right back where you were when you wiped it out before. Why? Because you do things based on what you need, what you think you deserve, what you think you are entitled to. You ain't much on clipping these coupons, are you? No. Because you don't want to do that. You wouldn't. Would you go to Susie's store and shop? Be honest.
Oh, I would, yeah.
Okay, well, now you would because you've met her, and she's a classy lassie with a classy store, so you say, yeah, okay, maybe, and that's good. Okay, you have to make decisions based on what you can afford, not what you need, not what you're entitled to, not what you can justify. Wonderful that your child has a yard to run around in, but I'd love for them to run around in a yard they can afford, that their parents can give them a stable future. You have to take the emotionality out of it, take the denial out of it, and deal with it. So I want to introduce you guys to Ashley. She's a stay-at-home mom who says that she has been able to slash her grocery bills by more than half and has even started a website to help others do the same thing. Now, take a look at how she does it, and then we'll talk some more.
If couponing's not done right, it's definitely a waste of time. Staying organized is very important. I keep all of my Sunday coupons in a binder. Inside here, I have things organized by store and also by type of coupon. I also go to my website, frugalcouponmom.com. I create my own shopping list, copy and paste it on a Word document, and voila, I have my shopping list for the stores. Buy things that are on sale, combine them with manufacturer and store coupons, and stockpile. I spend a fraction today of what I used to spend a year ago, and I come home with double or even triple the products.
Now, Mandy says cutting coupons is a waste of time. So I asked frugal coupon mom Ashley to teach Mandy some tricks that could help her cut her grocery bill, not a little bit, but in half. Take a look.
Mandy, let me show you my best friend. This here is the coupon bag. Inside, I have my folder, my binder with all my coupons, and most importantly, the envelope for the store.
Do you take this with you everywhere you go?
Staying organized is so important. Ready to go save money?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I wrote up a shopping list. Here's what I normally buy in a week.
Very specific. Part of this is being flexible. You cannot remain loyal to brands. All right, Mandy, $1.28. We have $3 off coupons. 3 cans of Miracle and tomatoes for 28 cents.
That is amazing.
Let's get 3.
When I usually purchase these, they're between $2 and $3.
So I have here $2 off coupons, any Cascadian item.
Let's get cereal.
Which one do you like?
I like this one.
Grab 2. We are going to get a salad dressing that retails for a little under $4 for about 78 cents.
Wow.
Bring in your competitor's store flyer, and a lot of these big discount stores like Walmart will match the sale price. You ready to go check out?
Let's go.
I can't wait to see how much we save.
Me too. The total was $74.74. So how much did we save?
With the coupons, we saved $57.14, which brought your grand total down to what?
$17.60.
Good job.
That's amazing.
Are you won over?
I am. I'm convinced.
Well, thanks to Walmart for letting us shoot there. They've got great money-saving tips on their website, walmart.com. You notice when so many people are having trouble right now, like Walmart's doing really well because they understand that people are looking for value, and so that's what they're offering. Now, and I'm a huge fan of Walmart, obviously. They sell a lot of my books, which I'm good for. All right, now, so listen, you say $57. And you say, when you were walking out, you said, yeah, I'm won over. I'm not so much getting you on that. I mean, do you really get this?
We have a pretty specific diet, and so I just assume that there's not going to be any coupons or any discounts on the things that I like.
But that's not true, is it?
It's not.
I mean, you can get healthy foods with coupons, right?
That's correct. They do have a very specific diet, and part of couponing is being flexible. However, the manufacturers know that people are going green and going organic, so they are producing those coupons. We obviously got a lot of organic food for very cheap.
Yeah, I mean, you really did. And again, you do what you can afford to do. And I'm not saying not eat healthy and not feed your children healthy, because you need to. Now, Ashley has put together a list of items she says you should never pay full price for. So you say shampoo, conditioners, toothpaste, cereal, pain meds, makeup, frozen vegetables, cheese, butter, soup, cleaning products, canned vegetables, pasta sauce, Bucks Foods, paper products, all of these things. Why do you never pay full price for these?
They go on sale. They have coupons. There's no reason to pay full price. And While their list is very specific, there's a lot of other areas they can be saving that maybe does not matter in terms of being organic. For example, toiletries, beauty products, medicine, baby items. By saving money on all of these things, their grocery list is definitely going to come down, and the organic coupons definitely do exist.
Okay, and there are two things that depress people, budgets and diets. It's like, oh, I'm on a diet, I don't care, my life is over. Or I'm on a budget, I mean, life is no fun. Susie, what kind of people shop in your thrift store?
Celebrities, doctors, lawyers, everyday people, moms, everybody shops there.
It's something that you just have to adjust an ego thing and say, we're going to be smart. All right, we've got to take a break. Up next, fun and free ways you can entertain your family. And later, a surefire way to save money at the pump. Find out how you at home can win a $1,000 gas card from Shell.
Recreational expenses are one of the biggest areas to sink a family. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have a lot of fun. You can stay at home and watch movies, play board games, roast marshmallows in the fireplace. I mean, you can do all kinds of things at home. We just need to be creative and stop thinking that fun is dinner and a movie.
In these tough economic times, it's more important than ever to learn how to get the most out of your money. Now, Steve and Annette Economides are proud to be the parents in America's cheapest family. Now, they've been sharing their tips and tricks to make every penny count. Now, look, you guys, I mean, people at home may be thinking, well, you know, this is the Cleaver family. Their kids are saying, sure, I'll buy a pair of $4 jeans and happy to do it. But they're saying, my kid wants designer jeans, my kid wants an Xbox, my kid wants to go to Disneyland. What do you say about that?
I say let them pay for it themselves.
And I say sometimes parents need to say no.
What?
Yeah.
Say no to your children? That's blasphemy. I mean, we have an entitled generation, and that's what I'm talking about. Why are you guys okay with this?
We've been raised on it, so it's normal to us. But there's nothing wrong. If your kid wants an Xbox, they will take more pride in that Xbox if they have saved the money and worked for it and paid for it with their own money.
Now, Steve and Annette have some great ideas for entertaining your family without breaking the bank. Now, let's see the graphic. Here are some things. You say, and again, borrow or rent a movie or two, go bowling, backyard camping, miniature golf, use coupons. You get coupons for miniature golf?
Absolutely. Yes, the one near us gives out coupons. And bowling is dirt cheap at a university, if you can find a university bowling alley.
Okay, but it's still activity, and you're together, and you're having fun. The fact is that money is tight. You've got to get ego out of the way. You truly got to get ego out of the way. You've got to get emotion out of your finances and do what you can do. So maybe you go to a discount movie theater. You play board games, and you know, they're just an excuse to be together. These guys have said have Christmas in July when everything's on sale. Shop at thrift shops. You know, take free tours. Go to different sort of things that provide a common activity for you and your family, but it doesn't cost a lot of money. Now, when we come back, more ways to save big bucks. Plus, I'll tell you how you can win a $1,000 gas card. We'll be right back.
Dr. Phil, one way I save money is I pack my husband's lunch for work, and we save about $150 to $200 a month.
Hi, Dr. Phil. One of the ways I save money is a pair of plastic jeans with a more inexpensive top, and play it up a little bit more, save hundreds of dollars on outfits.
Instead of going to a showroom or a gallery, I find my furniture at garage sales and thrift shops, refurbish them, and they become my own one-of-a-kind piece.
Dr. Phil, one of the money-saving tips that we have is to take all our loose change and put it in piggy banks around the house. By the end of the year, we have enough money for our vacation in Aruba.
Well, today we're giving money-saving tips and tricks to help you spend less. Now, those are just some of the ways our audience members save money. Natalie, where are you?
Here.
Here you are. So what do you do to save money?
Go to garage sales and thrift shops, find some furniture that
most people pass over, they don't look so nice, and take them home, put new fabric, new hardware, new paint, and they'll just, you know, make a fit in your house.
So Tammy, what do you do with your husband's lunch?
Well, I cook dinner the night before, and I always cook more than we need, so that way I can pack him a lunch the next day and he can take it to work.
Okay, so what do you save a year, you think, by instead of him buying lunch at work?
Well, I know we save at least $150 a month.
$150 a month?
Yes.
That's huge. I mean, when you think about that, you're talking about a lot of money. So, Bridget, what's your trick?
My friends and I, we just find a look that we like in a magazine and find it for less. We can use accessories and cheaper items, pair a more expensive bottom with a cheaper top and make it look like an expensive outfit.
If you're looking to cut down your water bill, America's Cheapest Family has some great ideas. How do you guys cut down the water bill?
We water selectively. We don't have a huge landscape with a lot of water. We put a water bottle in the toilets so that we use less water there.
Shower heads, low flow shower heads.
Yeah, but you got to run around to get wet.
No, those are fine. We also encourage the kids to take sailor showers, is what they're called. You know, you soap up, turn the water off while you're soaping up, and then turn it back on to rinse off.
See, I don't want people to start throwing out the baby with the bathwater here. because you have some really good ideas. And how much would you figure that saves during the year?
See, it's not about each little penny here and there. It's the total sum as you learn a lifestyle of conservation where the pennies add up to dollars and the dollars add up to hundreds of dollars, and it helps the environment as well.
So it's a mindset.
It is a mindset.
Do you guys do this? Do you take sailor showers?
Yeah.
Yes.
You really do? Really?
It gets a little cold in the wintertime, but then you move faster.
This is the Cleaver family. This is the Cleaver family. We are going to be giving away a $1,000 Shell gas card to one of our viewers, and you can go to drphil.com for a chance to win. Now, you know about Shell gas, right? You've heard of Shell, and you know that Shell is like really good gas. True? It's nitrogen enriched. It will actually seek and destroy gunk in your engine. You knew that, didn't you? So this was a test and you passed. So everybody in the audience is going home with a $200 gas card from Shell. We'll be right back. Listen, times are tough. Our country is in the midst of an economic crisis. That's why we've compiled the best financial information for you over at drphil.com. I do think it is so important for children to learn about personal finance. In fact, we're planning a whole show about how to talk to your kids about money. Now, if your son or daughter seems spoiled and entitled and you want help teaching them the realities of your money situation, go to drphil.com and tell us your story. I'm going to bring some kids in here and I'm going to have the money talk with them. I'm going to show them how to appreciate the value of a dollar. So if you want your kid to be in that class, then just click on Be on the Show, tell us your story and why you think your child should be there. You didn't know that the whole audience fate sat on your shoulders, so you're like the Shell answer woman. So that's good. I really want to thank all of my guests for being here today. America's cheapest family, the Economitas. And Susie, thank you for being here from the UCLA Thrift Shop. You guys do great work. Just really keep it up. Thank you so much. Ashley from frugalcouponmom.com. Lots of good ideas there, so go and check it out. And Mandy, we're going to take the emotion out of finance. We're going to take the ego out, and we're going to get this budget where you're living beneath your means, right? So you got a little wiggle room. Thanks for being here today. So long.
Today on Dr. Phil.
What do you do when someone is too young to be a mother,
I'm just tired of it all. I can't take it.
living at home and fighting with the family?
She's failing to be a mother.
Your mom and dad say you ignore the baby when he's crying.
She doesn't show emotion the way she should. I can't even stand to look at her sometimes.
Don't let teen parenthood
Let me tell you, when you become a mother, there's no window you go to check out.
tear your family apart.
Till the day one of you leaves this earth, you are that child's mother. We've got to get this situation back on track, and we can. If you just don't have that connection, tell me, I will help you with that. I want to introduce you to little baby Gabriel here. He's 13 months old, and whether he knows it or not, he's caught in the middle of what may be a very troubling family situation. His mom is only 18. She's living at home, and she's constantly fighting with the rest of the family. They say she doesn't pay enough attention to her child, she's irresponsible, and she's put little Gabriel in danger. But Gabriel's young mom says her family just won't give her a break. They won't give her a chance, and she needs to get out. But how? I'm going to get to the bottom of this because similar situations are going on in families all across America where several generations are living under one roof. They need to make a change for this baby's sake, and they need to do it right now. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
10 seconds to air.
I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. Here we go. I want you to get excited about your life.
4,
And ready,
3.
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Thank you. All right, every parent can tell you that raising a child is often demanding, thankless, hard work. But when a teenager gets pregnant and has a child on her own, it is a tall order. Teenagers, even intelligent ones who are going to school and dedicating themselves, are still children. I mean, come on, they're kids. They'd rather be texting than changing a diaper. It's great when the family helps, but if the teenager is not stepping up and taking care for the baby, and everybody's living in the same house, it can be a recipe for stress and chaos. That's the kind of turmoil happening to my guests, Rhonda and Brian, who say their 18-year-old daughter, Megan, who lives in their home with her baby Gabriel, is making a mess of her life and forcing them to pick up the pieces.
I feel like I live in a soap opera since Megan had the baby. It's drama. It's bickering.
Here's Laura, give him to me. Give him to me.
It's constantly an argument. Our complete household is in turmoil. Megan is the laziest, most inconsiderate, selfish individual I know. She's lived under our roof for the last year, not working, not contributing, not doing anything. My husband and I are constantly the ones making the breakfast and the lunch and the dinners, making sure the diaper bag's packed to go to the sitter's house.
I bought Megan a brand new car. She wrecked it 3 times. And the baby is in the car 1 time.
When Gabriel cries, she won't respond. She shows no emotion. It's like it's not her baby.
I've come home a couple of times and the baby's just walking around the house. One time, she's just laying on the floor asleep. I found the dog bowl with the water all over the floor. What if you'd bell? I can't get through to her. It makes me very angry to feel like I'm being used.
It's just so frustrating because I want to hit something.
But Megan feels like she's the victim of an uncaring family. She says they criticize her every move, won't give her a chance to be the good mother that little Gabriel needs.
Quote from my mom, I'm the most irresponsible 18-year-old she's ever known. There's not very many days when my parents don't criticize me. It seems like I never do anything right when it comes to Gabriel. Like when I feed him, I give him too big of bites, or I don't get him dressed with the right clothes.
I know, you scare me though.
They try to tell me, oh, well, he wants this, he wants that. I'm his mother, I know what he wants.
Well, Megan says the family did everything they could to keep her from having the baby, and now she needs to get away from them. She says she's got to do it for her sake and for Gabriel's.
The moment my parents found out I was pregnant, they tried to actually talk me into getting an abortion. My mom cried and my dad called me a whore. It was pretty intense. The night they found out, my parents called the entire family. They were all downstairs talking about me. I felt left out. I was up in my room. I wasn't part of the discussion at all. The options my parents gave me were either putting the baby up for adoption, getting an abortion, or raising him myself. Oh, look at those little tears. My parents constantly say my family is torn apart because of me. They're trying to tell me that they're gonna take my child away if I move out. Oh. I told my parents if they wanted to take my child, they would have to get a lawyer and take him from me because I'm not letting him go.
Well, I want to talk to Megan first. Now, her parents are actually watching backstage in the green room, and I'm going to talk to them a little bit, but I wanted to talk to you first because you say your parents are all over you, they criticize everything you do, so I wanted to give you a chance to have your say before they even got out here, okay?
Okay.
Now, let's put Gabriel first. Is he getting fair treatment from you?
I think so, yes.
Well, you're the only one that thinks so, right? Because your mom and dad don't think so, your sister doesn't think so. They say that you've not bonded with the baby. They say that you ignore the baby when he's crying. They say that you're more interested in doing things that entertain you, which at one level I can understand. You're 18. I mean, you're a child yourself, just to be honest. Yeah. But if you, in fact, just don't have that connection you thought you were going to have, if you don't have the focus that you feel like you need to have, tell me, I will help you with that. But we got to be honest about it. Are you taking care of this child in an appropriate way, or are you laying back and letting other people do it?
I think it's half and half. I mean, I'm taking care of them, but sometimes I'm kind of laid back.
Because you said at one point, I wrote it down because it was so significant, you said they have been so critical and picked on me and criticized me so much that I have basically, quote, given up.
Nothing seems to make them happy. I don't feel like I do anything right. I mean, we got in an argument just here recently, today. It's never right. I don't ever say anything or do anything right.
So that means you've given up on Gabriel?
No, not him.
You've given up on your, well, if you say, look, I can't make him happy, so fine, just do it. You're basically, Gabriel's mother's checking out. And let me tell you, when you become a mother, there's no window you go to check out. There's no way to say, well, I'm tired of this. I don't like their criticism, so I'm just going to go just up here and say, I'm done. There's no window you go to quit. You're that child's mother for now and evermore till the day one of you leaves this earth. You are that child's mother.
I think my parents have actually tried to help me too much, and it's making me even more lazy and laid back, or whatever you want to call it.
I think there's a good chance that you're exactly right about that. And listen, I'm wanting to do this with you, not to you, but we got to be honest for Gabriel's behalf. I mean, just think of me as Gabriel, because I'll guarantee you, if he could say so, he would say some things to you and your mother and your father that you're going to hear from me today. Mm-hmm. So, me and Gabe, we're like this. All right, Megan's parents say they are fed up with her behavior. They say their entire world has changed for the worse. So are they right? Are they overcritical? Are they getting in the way of the mother-daughter bond here? In this day and time with the economic meltdown, we have a lot of families living under one roof. They're kind of coming back together again. New rules, new day. We'll be right back.
We live in a 3,500 square foot home, and Megan's only chores are to clean a half bath and a full bath. Is that too much to ask for? There is always resistance. I'll do it later, or I'll do it when Gabriel's asleep. Yeah. I bend over backwards for Megan, and she expects it.
This house is not a happy home. Half the time I'd rather be at work.
I've tried to explain to her we're a family. We all work together here, but Megan doesn't want to be a part of that.
Well, every teenage pregnancy creates a ripple effect of demands and life-altering adjustments. Many lives are affected, not just the teenager, not just the baby. All the extended family is affected as well. And when you have a child trying to raise a child, it can turn a once peaceful house into a stressful pressure cooker. Now, Rhonda and Brian say that they're feeling the strain because they're constantly clashing with their 18-year-old daughter, Megan.
Megan uses Gabriel as sort of a leverage against us. If we say something to her that ticks her off, she'll immediately pick him up and go straight to her room and shut the door. That's my punishment.
Laura, give him to me.
When Laura tries to critique Megan on her parenting techniques, it's shut up. It's my baby. I can do what I want. You're not his mother. The person I feel sorry for is Gabriel.
Well, Brian and Rhonda are joining us now. Now, they've been watching the show backstage. I'm curious what your reactions are to what you've seen and heard so far.
It's our life. I mean, that's exactly what we're living right now. I know Megan thinks that, you know, we're going back to the move out thing, that she's capable of doing it, but she's shown me no responsibility as of to date.
What's going wrong in this situation? I mean, first off, is she doing what she needs to, in your opinion?
Absolutely not.
So what is she failing to do?
She's failing to be a mother.
Did you think that this was infused through some kind of osmotic DNA, or what did you think all of this parenting plan and skills would come from?
I was hoping for me. I mean, I don't know. I think as a mother, it's kind of like a maternal instinct. And it's something that I think Megan lacks there. She was in a program that they have for pregnant teenagers in high school. She did attend that along with her boyfriend at the time on a regular basis. I think it was like once a week or so. And they were making baby things. And we went to a seminar, an all-day seminar at school. And it was all this big hype. And I'm having a baby. And then when the baby came, I think reality hit.
So the seminar was all day?
All day long. I took a full day
off. So
off
she spent
work.
a whole day to learn how to be a mother.
Some of it, Dr. Phil, we thought she'd get from watching us, too.
Well, I'm sure she has. I mean, I know you've got a little sister, you've got nephews around, but that's a far cry from serious parent planning, serious parent skills, having the ability to make priorities, stick to them, come up with a concept of self-denial, understanding responsibility versus what feels good in the moment. And that's a lot of what you're dealing with because she's young, right? What do you think's the biggest problem here, Dad?
My biggest concern is the boy itself. You know, I've come in quite a few times and found her asleep on the floor and the baby walking around, and I'm afraid he's going to fall and hurt himself. And if she's asleep, she might not even know. He may not cry if he hits his head or something.
Where's the dad?
He's in the Army.
So he pays child support?
Yes.
But he's not actually involved in the child's life on a regular basis?
He would be if he could, and I mean, I know he wishes he would. I mean, he's cried on the phone to me saying that he wishes he would be here to help me.
But he's not?
No.
Do you guys think you have contributed to the problem?
Absolutely.
What have you done?
I enable Megan. I have bent over backwards for her. I do everything for her.
Let's go back to what you said in the beginning. You said that you have enabled her terribly. And in your letter, you said she's the most selfish, childish person that you've ever met. Why would you do that? Why would you enable her that way?
I don't think I raised her to be that way. I really don't.
Apparently you did.
Well, I guess so, but I mean, I want to do as much as I can for Megan, but I didn't teach her to be selfish and self-centered.
Here's the problem that I want you guys to understand so you know why I'm saying what I'm saying. You're caught up in emotional extortion, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Because it's like if you say, okay, Dr. Phil, fine. We'll be as tough as we can. We'll just let her fall and scrape her knee. We'll let her just deal with this on her own. But when we do that, we throw Gabriel under the bus.
Absolutely.
And so she's got emotional leverage on you, right?
Absolutely.
It's like you kick me out, then my baby is living under a bridge. Yeah. And you don't do this, then it just won't get done. So you are being extorted emotionally because you care for this child. That's what you see, true?
Yes, that's what I feel, yes.
So you've got leverage here, right?
Yes.
You know if you don't take care of that baby, they will. If the baby's crying and you don't get up, they will. If the baby needs changing and you don't do it, they will. If the baby's hungry, you don't feed the baby, they will. You know that, true?
Yeah.
And so you take advantage of that.
So every now and then, yeah, I do. I admit I do. It's not every day. I mean, it's not an everyday thing. I like spending time with my baby, and I feel like I treat him the way I should. I know I screwed up here and there. I mean, no mother's perfect.
Right. All right. Well, from what I read in preparation for this show, it could be said that one of the most level-headed members of this household is the youngest daughter in the family. When we come back, we're going to meet Megan's younger sister, who says her sister just doesn't love her baby the way a child should be loved. I don't know how she knows that or defines that, but I'm going to ask her I got a sneaking suspicion she's got a pretty good answer. We'll be right back.
Megan is oblivious and inattentive when it comes to Gabriel. She doesn't show affection. She doesn't watch him, and she sleeps while he cries.
I heard Gabriel crying. I ran upstairs. He was lifeless, where he cried for so long. His face was patchy, and Megan was laying on the floor. I said, Megan, wake up. Can't you hear him crying?
I've stopped talking to my parents for the most part because I just feel like everything I say or anything I do is just gonna turn out to be an argument. They're basically taking their frustrations out on me. I just get blamed for a lot of things.
Well, that was Megan, who recently became a mom while still in high school and is struggling to get along with her family as they all try to coexist under the same roof. These days, some extended families are living together just to make ends meet, and the outcome is sometimes added stress. I mean, think about it. We've got people that just can't maintain 2 or 3 households in this economy, so they're coming back together. Different sets of rules, different lifestyles, lots of agendas, lots of pressure. Now, Megan's 15-year-old sister, Laura, says Megan adds tension to the household by being selfish and uncaring to her own baby.
I'm angry with her because she doesn't watch him.
Don't grab onto him. They're hurting. No.
And she sleeps while he cries, and it really upsets me.
No. Oh, that's yucky. That's yucky.
I'm more of a parent than she is.
It's okay, sweetie. Don't get mad.
I'm the one on the ground with him playing with his toys and reading him books while she is texting or about to doze off or watching TV. A while back, she got in a wreck with Gabriel in the car because she was texting. One time, I was in my room with music playing and I heard him crying. So I went into the room. His face was all red and she was sleeping right beside the crib, right on the floor. I hate seeing him like that.
Well, Laura, what do you think's going on here?
She is a great person, but she doesn't show emotion or affection towards Gabriel the way she should.
And have you two talked about that?
Every time we talk, it's
Yes.
an argument. So I just don't even bother. There's no reason to talk if it's just going to argue all the time.
But aren't most of the arguments right now pretty much criticism of you?
Pretty much.
When was the last time you complimented her on something?
We actually had a discussion about that, and it's probably been about a month ago. And Megan did say, all you do is point out the negative. I said, it's hard to see the positive because I am so frustrated that I can't even stand to look at her sometimes. That's the point that I'm at. So I have tried to start using positive reinforcement. I've seen her playing with a baby. Megan, that's really nice. I mean, look at him when I say your name, his eyes light up. Mm-hmm. And I could see Megan's eyes light up. I mean, just but after a while, it's hard to give that because you're just so frustrated.
She takes a step forward, she takes 2 steps back.
Well, Laura, you say that she's fake because when anybody's around, she's what? She does what?
She'll put on an act when people are around. Because usually when it's just the 5 of us at home, my mom and dad and I are the ones who take care of Gabriel. But when we have company or we go somewhere, she'll take care of him, she'll tend to him while we get to do stuff. Which, that should happen all the time because she is the mother and that's her responsibility.
So you think she's just putting on an act for everybody else?
Yes, I think she wants everybody else to see what a good mother she is. And she can be a good mother, but she doesn't put the effort at home.
How'd you get pregnant, by the way? I mean, I know how you got pregnant, but I mean, how did that come to pass?
I really don't know because I was taking birth control at the time. I was on birth control pills and I'd never missed one. I took them at the same time every day. I guess it just happened.
She told me that
That's
she told me that he was using contraceptives and so is he, or so is she, and I'm like, well, I don't see this being the Immaculate Conception. I don't.
There's no such thing as a stork. I mean, it had to have happened somehow. There's only one way that someone could get pregnant.
So you reject the stork theory?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, my question is, you didn't do this on purpose?
No. God, no. I mean, I didn't want to have a baby so young. I still wanted to be able to do everything just any normal old 18-year-old will do. Go out and party or do what else, you know? I never got to do any of that. And I never will again.
And you said that you want to move so you could do a better job of taking care of Gabriel.
I think that would be an easier way for me to more step up to the plate and not have as much help around, because I know, yeah, I do take advantage of them some of the time.
And you said you overheard her talking about why she wanted to move.
She was actually talking to the baby's father, and that way she could party all night and do all this other stuff that she doesn't seem that she realized that she can't do that since she has a baby.
Is that true?
No, I haven't talked to the baby's father in quite some time. I mean, we talk every now and then, but I never said anything about going out and partying.
So are you saying she just made that up out of whole cloth, just decided, here's something good to tell Dr. Phil?
I guess, because I never talked about moving out and just to party. I mean, the reason I want to move out is because I think it'll be a better environment for me and my son. It'll take stress off of them, and I'm just tired of being like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, I won't have to worry about that if I move out. I'll be able to go stay the night with my friend if I want to a night.
So are you lying on your sister?
No. She was actually planning on moving in with one of her friends, and she was saying and you were talking to the baby's father, Megan. I'm not dumb. I heard you say his name. And you were telling him how great it would be to live with this friend, because that way you could party, and because you're going to take advantage of this friend like you did us. Because you asked her if she would watch him, and I don't recall her giving you a definite reply. You shouldn't put this pressure on her.
All right, well, there's a whole lot more to this, and there's a whole lot more to why these parents are the product of emotional extortion and what they fear might happen if she did move out where there wasn't any support and supervision. It all has to do with what her mom found in Megan's purse, and it has to do with some history that can determine the future. I'm going to unveil all that when we come back.
I overheard my sister coming up with the idea to move out with her friend. My heart dropped because I don't believe that Megan is ready to go out on her own with Gabriel. Megan manipulates my mother all the time. She really doesn't understand what my mom does for her.
Let's get a blankie.
She is very spoiled, and she doesn't realize how lucky she is or what she's got here.
Well, Laura says she feels her sister Megan is ungrateful for all the help she gets from the family. Now, this happens a lot. Teenagers have babies. They have babies before they have matured enough to handle them. They fall back on their family, who are sometimes forced to take the responsibility of raising the child. Now, Laura says Megan is not stepping up to her role as a mother. That's just her opinion. In fact, she says Megan is trying to run away from her responsibilities.
I overheard my sister coming up with the idea to move out with her friend, and she was planning on taking the baby with her.
I think that my mental and emotional health would be so much better if I could move along. Got him. Chill out.
I know, you scare me though.
God.
It scares me. Megan believes that she could go to school full-time, pay rent, babysitter, back and forth from and to school and work. I'm very upset.
I overheard them talking about her moving in with this girl, and they could have parties every night and all this other stuff. All she wants to do is party.
It's okay.
My heart dropped because I don't think she's ready to move out. Not just for Gabriel's sake, but for hers too.
Well, that wasn't the only alarming incident. Megan's mom, Rhonda, also found something illegal in Megan's purse.
At one point, Megan was groggy all of the time. I questioned her, well, the doctor changed my medication. I said, well, it's clearly not working. She said, well, it's working for me. I wanted to find out what it was. I went through her purse. I found marijuana. I don't know what to do for Megan. Megan needs help.
Are you smoking dope?
Not anymore.
Pardon me?
Not anymore.
Since when did you stop?
She found it probably 3 or 4 months ago, maybe. So I haven't smoked it since.
Why not?
Just don't want to lose my baby. I'm afraid that after they found it, that they're going to try to get a lawyer and take him away from me. So I quit in order to be able to keep him.
Have you smoked dope and driven the car?
No, never.
Because I asked because you've had a fair amount of wrecks.
Yeah.
3 or 4?
3.
3? Yes. 2 in your car?
2 in my car,
Which
yes.
was a new car?
Yes.
Where'd you get the new car?
Mom and Dad bought it for my graduation gift.
Okay. So Mom and Dad...
It was a gift to take the baby back and forth to the doctor and school.
Okay, you gave them to take the baby back and forth, and so they gave you a new car. And you've wrecked it twice? And then you wrecked the truck?
Yes.
Okay, why can't you drive?
Well, it's not that I can't drive. The truck incident, it was really icy on the roads, and my friend, one of my friends was even with me, and she'll attest to that. It was...
Well, how about the other 2?
The other 2, the first one wasn't my fault. I got cited for it, even though it wasn't my fault.
I hate it when they do that.
I do too.
Okay,
I'm
what happened the second
serious.
time? No, me too. What happened the second time?
The second time, I was trying to turn so I could turn around, and some guy came barreling past me, and I hit him.
In your estimation, what can I do to help you?
Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I mean, why?
You seem to have a lot of volunteers for that. I mean, seriously, you have a lot of people that are happy to tell you what you're doing
your
wrong.
opinion and what I'm doing wrong. I
You
mean,
really do?
Yeah, I do.
Would you like me to put some verbs in my sentences and tell you what I think you need to do right?
Whatever you have to do to get the message through.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do that. And I'm going to tell you the foundation of it is going to be that family sticks together. Absolutely. You don't get lawyers and attack daughters. You don't have to live in fear of somebody coming after you within your own family from that. I think you stick together, but everybody has responsibilities, just like everybody has rights. And we're all going to do this with an eye towards one thing, and that's what's best for this little boy, because he didn't ask for any of this.
No, that's right.
The police came to the house looking for Megan not too long ago. We're going to talk about the reason why when we come back.
One night, Megan scared the whole family. This is about 10:30 at night. We're just actually getting ready to go to bed, and the next thing I know, I hear a knock on the door. Here's the police at my door. There's like 5 cruisers, an ambulance, and a fire truck. I'm like, what the heck? Megan is a cutter. She started when she was about 12 or 13. She has scars from cutting her wrists. I don't understand why she does it. I think she's punishing herself. She hasn't done that in a while.
Well, we're talking about a family in crisis and a young mother who feels like she's under attack from her parents, her sister, from the pressures of being a student and a mom. Now, the really difficult part here is that there's a sweet little boy's future that's hanging in the balance. He needs his mother. I've often said we don't raise children, we raise adults. And everything that is happening now will have an impact later. Now, one incident that took the family by surprise was the night the authorities came knocking at the door.
One night, Megan scared the whole family. We're just getting ready to go to bed, and then I hear a knock, and here's the police at my door. There's like 5 cruisers and an ambulance and a fire truck. I'm like, what the heck? And they say, yeah, there's a Megan here. What's going on? They said, well, we got to call Megan is going to commit suicide. She apparently texted her boyfriend.
It's an attention getter. Megan has never indicated suicide to me. It's always been with boyfriends.
Megan's response is that she doesn't say anything. She just clams up.
Okay. Let's just get all this out. Are you suicidal?
Not anymore. I mean, somewhat, but I just look at the baby. I mean, it's hard to describe. Yes and no. Every time I feel like I have I feel like I need to or want to, I just look at my baby and I can't leave him. I don't want to leave him behind.
So you don't want to kill your baby's mother?
No.
But aside from that, you would consider it?
Probably. If he wasn't here and I hadn't had a baby, then I probably wouldn't be here. He's the reason I'm still alive today.
Okay. What about you in your life would cause you to not want to be here?
I'm just the emotional and mental abuse that I've been put through. I mean, I'm just tired of it all. I can't take it. You know, I've been called names here and there. I mean, any name in the book you can imagine, just about. I mean, it's all the time.
Mm-hmm. And who has called you names and what have they called you?
both my mom and my dad. And I don't really want to say it on film, but I mean, there's been a couple incidents to where they've been calling me names, and I don't call them names.
And you acknowledge that you've done that, and you acknowledge that it was in anger and that it was wrong, correct?
Yes.
Because they were disparaging things that had to do with her morality.
Yes.
It was, but they were not intentionally said toward Megan. It was the night we found out that she was pregnant. Megan was in the house.
Okay,
and
we both know what was said. Don't defend it.
No, I'm not defending it, but it was not for Megan to hear.
But she heard
We
it.
were outside.
But
yes.
she heard it.
She said that she did
And she
hear
heard it accurately. And you don't waste time defending that.
I'm not
it was wrong,
defending
it was
it.
wrong, it was
It
wrong,
was
it was
wrong.
wrong. But you're human beings. I get that. You know,
Right.
you're not evil parents at all. Do you feel that you are abusive parents?
Absolutely not.
How do you respond when she says, I would take my own life because of the abuse I have been subjected to?
I don't know what type of abuse. She said a couple of incidents that she's overheard a conversation, but we have never physically or mentally abused either one of our children. Megan started hanging around a bad crowd. That's when all the cutting started. She wanted to be gothic, and we just started nipping everything in the bud.
Now, I'm not interested in throwing you under the bus here. You're in way over your head. That's why babies shouldn't have babies. Children shouldn't have children. You chose to become sexually active, and so now you chose the consequence that goes with that. It can happen, and it did. And I'm not here to throw you two under the bus, because everything I can discern, y'all have been very solid, foundation, loving and attentive parents. But we're in a pickle here.
We are in a
We're in a
pickle.
bad situation, and you got bigger problems than you realize. Now, this isn't the first time that you have had emotional distress in your life.
Correct.
You know, because we talk about the fact that you've been through a period in your life when you were cutting yourself. And that anxiety was so built up that you had to inflict pain on yourself to stop that anxiety storm in your brain. You didn't realize what was going on at the time, but that's the reason that that was something that you did. That's not a good sign for you to do that. You have made suicidal comments before to your boyfriend, enough that he took serious enough that he called the police out of an abundance of caution. And there are a lot of physiological realities going on here that I want to talk about when we come back, because we've got to get this situation back on track, and we can. And we'll talk about it right after the break.
I feel like I'm a great parent, and if they would give me a chance, I could really show them.
You want some more?
If I was living on my own and I could just visit, I think it would be a lot healthier for our family. All I want is just peace. I just want to go back to being the family that we used to be.
I'd love this to be a great place for little Gabriel. He's awesome.
Gabriel is just so loving and so adorable and so happy.
He's my little joy. He makes me feel good all the time.
We love Gabriel.
I'm afraid that if she does move out, my family will fall apart because Gabriel is honestly what holds the family together.
Well, today we're talking about what is on the short list of nightmares for parents. At the top of that list, you hate to get that phone call in the middle of the night that something terrible, tragic has happened to your child. Not far below that on the list is when they come in and say, Mom, Dad, I'm pregnant. I really want to finish high school, but I'm pregnant. It's not easy trying to raise a child in a home, particularly when you have raised your children and you weren't planning on raising another one. It's a huge adjustment for everybody, and a lot of people have to step up in different ways. Now, Megan, I'm talking to you and every teenage girl in America. When you decide to play the game of being sexually active, you put your life in the balance, you put your future in the balance, you put the child's future in the balance. We can talk a lot about how we got in this situation. As I've said, I think you guys have done a good job. You say, oh yeah, great job there, Dr. Phil, their daughter's pregnant. You have done a good job. You can't be with them every minute of every hour. And what we know about kids your age is your brain isn't even through growing yet. And the part that isn't through growing until you're 24, 25 years old is the neocortex, the higher learning centers where you have the ability to predict the consequences of your actions. So we have a child who you say, well, doesn't she know what can happen? Well, actually not. Because you have to have some different neurological development in order to be a good predictor, a good problem solver. The diagnostic process is a very complex process. For me to render a diagnosis to Megan, I would have to do psychometric tests with her. I'd have to do structured interviews. I would have to do physiological checks. And I haven't done any of that. So I'm going to give you my observations, not my diagnosis. I do think you are depressed. I don't think it's acute. I don't think it's reactive to this pregnancy. I don't think it's reactive to your parents. I think it is a chronic situation. I think it is endogenous, meaning that it's probably physiological rather than reactive to other things. I think you have a component of anxiety mixed in there where you get at times where you are overwhelmed and want to escape. And isn't it true that you don't want to die? You just want the pain to stop?
It's very true.
It isn't that you want to die, you just want to stop hurting sometimes.
Correct, very. I mean, it's right on.
So what I want you to develop are some coping skills so you can stop that pain, so you can stop that overwhelming feeling of being inadequate to the challenges without contemplating such extreme measures. Some of this is involuntary. Y'all are saying, why are you sleeping when your baby is crying? Because she is physiologically depleted. She is hormonally depleted. I suspect there are all kinds of imbalances in the chemicals in her brain with norepinephrine and serotonin that's disrupting quality of sleep, is creating depression. She doesn't get ever recharged. You are emotionally flat. I think the reason that you're becoming tearful now is because you are so relieved that somebody seems to get it. True?
Very true.
What are you thinking right now?
I'm glad somebody else realizes and somebody else actually knows and believes me.
Yeah. And you know that I'm not saying that your responsibility to your child is any less, that the sacrifices you're going to have to make are any less. But I'm saying we need to equip you to handle those challenges and support you. We need to get this evaluated. I'm happy to make that happen for you with the top professionals in the country. And we'll have her evaluated hormonally, physiologically, psychologically, and every other way so we can get a to-do list of things to get you back to who was the kid that was able to win all the honors in high school and get 3.9. I mean, you're behaving like 1.2, and we know you're 3.9.
Yeah.
Right? And you know that. Don't you sometimes feel like you're moving in slow motion?
I do.
Okay, well, we need to change that, and then we need to get some help parenting-wise. Don't even think about moving. You are so not ready to be out on your own right now. You're in the midst of people right now that love you and love your baby. And they're going to back off and let us do some things we need to do. Okay. They are, right?
We will.
Yeah. Yes, lots of nodding and smiling, okay. All right, that's good. That's good. No, seriously, you'll help with that. Okay? And then we'll decide what we're going to do. Okay?
Okay.
Deal?
Sounds good. Deal.
All right, we'll be right back. For much more information on today's show, please visit drphil.com, where we have everything you need to know to parent your child. Well, we've been talking today with a family and a young mother struggling with the pressures of motherhood, pressures that just don't go away. Believe me, they get busier and they get bigger. Now, we know that there's a lot of pressure out there right now, and if you have pressures going on in your family, go to drphil.com, click on today's show, and then there's a link that is marked, "Is Your House in Turmoil?" You're going to find advice there for parents dealing with troubled teens. You're going to find all kinds of things to decompress your household. So this show doesn't stop at the top of the hour. It just shifts to drphil.com, and I think there's a lot of information there you can plug into your house. Look, we're all in this together. It's kind of tough out there right now, but we can do this, and we will do this. We're in it together, just like you guys are in it together. We got a plan we're going to follow?
Absolutely.
All right, good deal. Thanks for being here. So long.